there anything in it for me?
Yeah, one letter, and I picked it up, and I'm like guarding with my life.
Oh, thanks, Maynard.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose it, because it smells of perfume. Probably from a chick, huh?
Good, let's have it.
I didn't want to take no chances on dropping it, because I know how you flip over mail from
Yeah,
chicks.
I'm deeply grateful, Maynard. Now, give me the letter.
I mean, friendly mail helps boost the morale of us cats in the armed forces. And your morale is a big hunk of booster.
Yeah, fine. Where's the letter?
I understand my responsibility to you, a fellow soldier, so I put it away where I couldn't never lose it.
No, Maynard.
You gotta admit, when I put something away, I put it away real good.
Real good, yeah.
I mean, you're my good buddy. I wouldn't let nothing happen to something my good buddy got like his heart set.
Maynard.
See how good I hit it?
Excellent, Maynard. Captain Kidd couldn't have done better if it was buried treasure. Ah, this is great. I wonder who it's from. It's from Zelda Gilroy.
How come old Zell keeps writing you? The way you treat her so mean and rotten, no offense.
No offense. Maynard, you know I'm not one to brag, but I can safely state that Zelda will never stop writing. She's ape for me.
Yeah?
Completely gone. But I'm going to let her dangle until I decide what to do about her. Meanwhile, she'll keep throwing herself at me and sending me presents and writing me sweet, mushy, sentimental, lovesick letters. Just listen to this. Dear Rat.
Dobie! Dobie!
This innocent-looking document's not really a letter. It's a declaration of revolution. I mean, for years, Zelda Gilroy's been madly in love with me, my devoted slave. And now, all of a sudden, this. It's scary. Dear Rat, my name is Zelda Gilroy. Remember me, you good-for-nothing bum? Zelda Gilroy, from the homemade cookies and the hand-knitted socks and the monogram scarf. Zelda Gilroy, from the empty mailbox and the stupid, trusting heart. I'm as patriotic as the next fella, and I have no wish to be unkind to a boy in uniform. But you, Buster, are a low-down skunk.
Also a miserable scoundrel and a no-good wretch.
Rat, a bum, a skunk, a scoundrel, and a wretch. How come you bother with them?
What's the matter, kid? Don't you recognize true love when you see it?
That's love. I'd rather have my tonsils out again.
You're right, Jenny. That bounder's pushed me around long enough.
Atta girl's out.
It's finished. Kaput. Ended.
Now you're talking.
We're...
Yay, Gilroy!
You know what I'm gonna do when he comes crawling back to me on his knees?
Toss him on his ear.
Worse than that.
Bash him in the teeth.
Worse than that.
Wow, what?
I'm gonna... Take him back, yeah.
Zell, you've been my idol ever since I moved in next door and decided you were gonna be my idol. But, girl, you've gone wig. I mean, wig.
Just wait, child. One of these days you'll grow up and learn to suffer.
Let me stop eating altogether and stop my growth.
Hey, dig what's honoring us with her presence. Miss Rochelle Kinchelow.
Wah-de-da. If she stuck her nose up in the air any farther, she'd flop over backwards.
Bonjour, ma chère Zelda.
Hi, Rochelle. I didn't know you were back in town.
Oh, just passing through on my way back to the fashionable Recherche finishing school I attend in the East.
Goody.
In honor of the occasion, my family is throwing a lavish party for me on Sunday night. You will attend.
Gee, thanks, Rochelle. I'd love to.
You're not actually a member of my social set, but since we did go to school together at one time, I feel I owe it to you.
Thanks a lot.
Naturally, all the girls are expected to attend with escorts, but I expect in your case we shall have to make an exception.
Now, wait a minute.
Unless, ma petite, you would like your father to bring you.
Now, hold on,
Or
Rochelle.
maybe your brother.
Kick herself.
Or I could arrange a blind date for you with one of my discarded beaux.
Now, just a minute, Rochelle. Just a darn minute. What makes you so doggone sure I can't get my own date?
Come now.
Go to yourself right now, Alfonso.
Zelda, mon enfant, perhaps you would rather come to the party alone. You're so used to it. Vraiment, mon petit chou.
Vraiment, mon petit chou, yourself, sister. It just so happens I can get a date for myself.
Of course you can.
You bet I can, with an adorable, charming, devastatingly attractive fellow.
do tell.
Yes, he'll take me to your party or anywhere else I want him to because, well, we're secretly engaged.
Oh, and what, pray tell, is the name of this si charmant garçon?
Dobie Gillis, that's what his name is, and he's crazy mad in love with me.
Oh?
Oh.
Fine. I shall look forward to meeting the lucky fellow.
Who don't?
Au revoir, ma vieille Zelda. Till Sunday night with your fiancé.
You bet. are you looking at?
A nut. A genuine certified nut.
Now, wait, Jenny.
All my life I heard about them, but this is the first time I ever had a chance to see one in the flesh. Wow.
All right. So I exaggerated a little.
Ha!
So I fibbed a trifle.
Ha!
So I lied.
That's the word.
Well, you can't blame me. That twerp Rochelle started it all, gloating and insulting me and making me feel like 2 cents. And, oh, Jenny, I've done a terrible thing.
True.
And when she finds out, she'll laugh at me. She'll tell the whole town about me. I wish I were dead.
True.
There's only one thing to do. I've got to go to Rochelle and tell her the truth and throw myself on her mercy.
True. Oh, no.
In a moment of childish anger and pride, I did a terrible thing. And now I've got to go over to her house and make up for it.
Oh, no, Zell, you can't do that. She'll sneer and cackle and rub your nose in the dirt.
Brother, will she? But it's got to be done.
Zell, this is bigger than just you. I mean, what about the rest of us girls that got shortchanged in the looks department? What? You're a shining example of a girl who has made good in this world, in spite of limited physical resources. And no shape. And a face that wouldn't turn a single head in an isolated Navy base.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Don't be modest, Zell. You're our leader.
Jenny.
Mom says if you can catch a fella, then there's hope for the rest of us.
Jenny.
But don't let that Rochelle kick you when you're down. Fight back. Don't quit.
Jenny.
Quitters never win and winners never quit.
Jenny.
Remember the men.
Jenny.
Tippecanoe and Tyler.
Now, cut that out.
Now, this is important. Don't let that dumb toad make a jerk out of you. Don't give up the ship. Show us dogs we can win.
Well,
Aha! You got a plan, huh? I can tell by the gleam in those beady little eyes.
well, sort of a plan.
What? What is it? What?
It is, as you might expect, since it developed in my brain, a highly ingenious scheme.
Yes. Yeah. Yes?
Now hear this.
You speak and I hear, my leader.
What would happen if that snooty pill got her nose out of the air long enough to come over to my house and hear me get a sweet, sticky, sentimental, long-distance phone call from Dobie?
She'd positively die.
And what if she saw me get a mushy, gooey poem from him?
She'd blow her stack.
And what if she saw me get a tremendous bouquet of gorgeous flowers from him?
She'd absolutely zoom off into orbit. She'd... No offense, Zell, but you slipped your trolley altogether. None of these things could happen because Dobie avoids you like the measles.
You know that. And I know it. And Dobie knows it. But Rochelle?
What a scheme. There's no question about it. You're bound to be first woman president.
Yep, it's a foolproof plan. I talked to Dobie's mother a few minutes ago. I call her 20, 30 times a day. And she said Dobie's got so many demerits, he'll never get a pass this weekend.
Hey, look, Dobe, we're getting a pass for this weekend.
Impossible, Maynard. To get a pass, you've got to go a whole week with less than 15 demerits. And I've already got 18. How many have you got?
87.
87?
It was a short week. I spent 3 days in the infirmary.
Maynard.
But I'm improving. Last week I got 115.
Look, Maynard.
Want to know why the sergeant gave me 115 demerits in 1 week?
No, Maynard.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Not now,
I was
Maynard.
wearing clean shoes.
Maynard, some other... demerits for wearing clean shoes?
Yeah, I scrubbed them and polished them and shined them and put them on.
Maynard, why would the sergeant give you demerits for wearing clean shoes?
They were his shoes. He had her around barefoot for 3 hours. Well, I'll see you later. I gotta go see the sergeant.
Yeah, fine, Maynard, fine.
I gotta tell him we made a mistake when they put up our names on that list for weekend passes.
Oh, good thinking, Maynard. Maynard, our names, they are on the list.
That's what I told you, remember? Good buddy. You're kind of losing your head.
Maynard, you can't tell the sergeant he made this mistake.
I can't?
You can't, because if you do, he'll tear down the notice, and we'll have to stay in camp for the weekend and do KP and clean the barracks and polish our equipment and work on garbage detail instead of going home and having a ball.
All them things happen if I tell the sergeant?
Right.
Hey, Dobe.
Yeah?
What sergeant?
You're all brain.
Please, enough of this hero worship. I've got every detail worked out on this master plan.
Holy moly. Like in a spy movie, huh? Hey, did you see that gasser where Peter Lorre gets trapped in this pyramid 2,000?
Child's play. Child's play compared to this masterpiece. It's foolproof as long as Dobie doesn't come home.
Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm home.
Welcome, boy. We've been waiting.
Hiya, Dad.
Why, darling, what have they been doing to you? You're so thin and pale and tired.
Mom, I've never felt better. The Army doctor said I'm in perfect physical condition.
Are you going to believe all that military red tape or what's in a mother's heart?
Now, let's get one thing straight, son. You're home on furlough to have a good time, and we don't want you to feel obligated to hang around with us old folks.
Dad, I want to spend time with
Why,
you.
of course he does, Herbert.
Oh, sure. A little time, but he's got to have some fun. I know how it is with soldiers on furlough.
Herbert?
Well, after all, you are my parents who brought me up and cared for me and...
You don't owe us a thing.
Herbert.
Winnie, after all, if he wants to call a girl and go dancing and have a good time, we're...
I believe the magic words were, if he wants to call a girl.
For 18 years he hasn't paid any attention to me. He has to start now.
Trust my petite fleur that you had good and sufficient reason for sending for me. I am très busy with my preparations for the gala soiree.
I sent for you, Rochelle, because, well, I want you to hear the bad news directly from me.
Do tell.
Yes, Dobie just called from camp. He's on duty tomorrow night, and he can't get away to take me to your party.
Quelle pity. Quelle pity.
I shall miss him desperately, of course, but as we women of military heroes have declared throughout the ages, we also serve who only stand and wait.
Perish forbid that I would appear to mistrust you, Zelda Monargile, but I rather expected something like this would happen.
You see, he's one of their most valuable soldiers, so naturally you expected what would happen.
That Dobie Gillis would turn out to be the little fiancé who wasn't there because he isn't your fiancé at all.
He is too.
He is not.
He is too.
All right, prove it.
Prove it?
Prove it. Some sign of your engagement. A gift, a poem, a telephone call.
You were saying, my dear Rochelle? Hello. What? Long distance? Yes, put him on, please. It's Dobie calling from camp.
None of your tricks. Give me that phone. Hello? Who is this?
Miss Gilroy, I have a long-distance phone call from Miss Zelda Gilroy from Private Dobie Gillis. Miss Gilroy, is this Miss Gilroy?
It's for you.
Thank you, Rochelle, ma chère. Hello? Yes, put him on, please. Hello? Dobie, dear, is that you? Oh, it's so good to hear your voice again. Even though I talked to you only a few minutes ago when you called to tell me the terrible news that you can't get away to take me to the party thrown by my friend Rochelle, so I'll have to go alone. Because I would never go anywhere with anyone but you, Poopsie. Oh, Dobie doll, you're just awful.
Now giggle again. Loud. Louder, girl. That's it. Now bat your eyelids like he told you he's gaga over you. Now blush. Now say he tells you the most adorable things. Hi, Mrs. Kenny. Say, how's old Hatchet Face going for this?
Beautifully, just beautifully.
Flowers! Flowers for Miss Zelda Gilroy.
Flowers! My, how exciting!
Yeah, the usual from Private Dobie Gillis.
Dobie Pumpkin, your lovely flowers just arrived. But there are so many of them.
$6 a dozen. Boy, lady, you sure picked yourself a live one.
So it seems.
You told me to order a dozen, so I figured 3 dozens 3 times as good. Oh, Jenny, you are the clever one.
You shouldn't have done it. You really shouldn't have.
Don't worry, my leader. I charged him to your father. Now thank me. Real gooey.
Oh, thank you, Dobie Dumpling. You're so thoughtful and considerate and wonderful, but don't you think we've talked long enough? I mean, this long-distance call from camp must be costing a fortune. Isn't that the dreamiest? He says the music of my voice is worth more than mere money. Now stop that, Pumpkin. You're making me blush.
Okay, Zell, you better hang up now. Don't overdo it. Tell me how much you love me and kiss me goodbye, baby.
Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye till then, my tiger. Ugh, I can hardly wait. Any questions? Carnations! My great bronzed hunk of man always sends carnations on Saturday. Aren't they scrumptious? Of course, then so are the roses. He always sends those on Monday. Gracious, a poem! He always writes such divine poems, the love. Isn't he just shameless?
What's it say?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
Okay, you talked me into it. Zelda, you are my angel. Zelda, you are my love. Zelda, I began to adore you the very first moment I saw you.
Saw you?
Poetic license.
Miss Dobie Gillis must be a magnificent human being.
Oh, not really magnificent. Just fine and decent and upright. Even humble, springing as he does from peasant stock. His parents run the local grocery store. But his heart is pure and his soul is good and he loves me and that's what really counts.
Very touching.
Yes, I rather liked it too.
Forgive me for doubting you, darling.
Oh, forget it. It was more fun this way, darling.
Then I'll see you at the party tomorrow night, even without your fiancé. Won't I, mon vieux?
You sure will, ma crouton.
Thank you, darling. I had a lovely time.
Likewise, I'm sure.
Ta-ta.
They all dumped to her free they got taken, huh? Like somebody hit her with a plank.
The poor thing.
Yeah, the poor thing.
My son Dobie engaged? Why, he couldn't afford to support our goldfish, let alone a wife.
It's true, Mr. Gillis. He is engaged.
You sure we're talking about the same Dobie Gillis? A nice-looking kid, not too tall, not too short, not too stout, not too bright. Winnie, this is a time for accuracy, not motherly pride.
Herbert, be quiet. Dear, I'm afraid there's some mistake. Our Dobie is not engaged.
Oh, positively not. He may not be the brightest kid in town, but he's certainly too smart to get caught in that trap.
Herbert?
Until it's ready for it, of course, naturally, my dear.
Oh, this is Trey confusing. When I just happened to walk by and saw the sign, Gillis's Groceries, I was sure I could drop by and congratulate dear Dobie's family on his upcoming marriage.
No offense, miss, but if he told you he was engaged, it's probably because you were getting too interested in him.
Indeed.
Yeah, you know how soldiers are. Oh, I remember when I was soldiering back in WW2. That was the big war, you know. If some girl started getting too pesky with me, I used to tell her, sorry, sister, but I got a little girl waiting for me back home, so... this is a place of business, miss. No place to be discussing my son's private life with strangers.
Oh, but I'm no stranger. I've never met Dobie. But I am a friend of Zelda Gilroy.
Zelda? Oh, my, such a sweet girl.
Yes, and a close friend of Dobie's, is she not?
Well, not exactly close.
It'll be pretty hard for them to get close. After all, when she shows up, Dobie runs like a scared rabbit.
I see.
Oh, yeah, Dobie's pretty cagey about girls. Not like his old man, present company accepted, my dear.
Actually, I wanted to invite Dobie to a party tomorrow night. A pity he's away at camp.
He's not away. He's home. The cash register is short, and if it's a party with food and soda pop and girls, where is it and when, and he automatically accepts.
Excellent. 8 o'clock at my house. Here's the address.
Dear, Dobie has a friend. I was wondering whether
of course. He's invited, too. I want everybody to be in on the fun.
Well, on Dobie's behalf, I thank you, Miss Kinchelow. And I'm sure that you'll enjoy meeting Dobie.
Oh, more than you know. Oh, don't tell him that Zelda will be there.
Oh, it'll be a surprise, huh?
It certainly will.
Pretty sharp head on that girl, huh?
Too sharp. I'm not sure that Dobie ought to go.
Hey, Dad, who was that girl who just walked out? Boy, what a knockout.
Oh, she didn't look too good to me.
Maynard.
In fact, she was pretty funny looking.
Maynard.
When I see a girl like that, I laugh. Like, ha ha. But it comes out even is when girls like that see me, they laugh. Like, ha ha. Sometimes, hoo hoo. Man, we all get together, everybody's like, ha ha, and hoo hoo, and all over the place.
Maynard, are you finished?
Like, ha ha. Now I'm done.
Would you like to try a little ho-ho?
Oh.
Ho-ho. Feel better?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Dad, about that girl, was she a customer?
Well, she was shopping for you.
For me? Nah.
For him? Nah.
Maynard, you're supposed to be on my side.
Son, she wants to invite you to some kind of a swell clam bake she's giving up at her house tomorrow night.
Me?
Him?
Maynard. Rochelle Kinchelow. That's funny, I never even heard of her.
What's funny about that? I never even heard of her either.
Good thinking, Maynard. Dad, I don't get it. Why'd she invite me?
Well, I don't know. She probably saw you on the street, liked what she saw, found out your name, and invited you to the party. Let's face it, we're devilishly attractive, we Gillis men.
Yeah, Dobie's, but what other Gillis men?
Maynard. Boy, what's gotten into you? You used to be the first kid in town to latch onto an invite, and now here you are looking a gift horse in the mouth.
You're right, Dad. Sure, I'll go to that party. What can I lose?
Don't go, Dob. Won't be no fun.
You're invited, too.
Let's get there early.
Attaboy, Maynard. We'll have a ball.
I changed my mind. I don't want to go.
Why not?
Any party that invite me for a guest isn't the kind of party I want to go to.
Hello, darlings. Hello. Bueno, cher amigos. Before long, you'll see something you never expected to see. Just wait. The real fun starts any minute. Like right now. Zelda, my dear.
Hi, Rochelle. She looks like a wonderful party.
Oh, I think you'll You'll find it interesting. People. Come here. I want you to meet an old friend, Zelda Gilroy. When we were children, Zelda was fond of showing me up in intellectual pursuits.
Hi, kids.
Zelda is a very fortunate girl. She has a fine, handsome, gallant fiancé, don't you, Zelda?
Well, yeah, sure, Rochelle.
Unfortunately, he can't be with us tonight, but he is always with her in spirit. Isn't he, mon petit?
Well, yeah, Rochelle.
Tell us some of the wonderful things he does for you.
Look, Rochelle.
Like the flowers and the poems and those long-distance phone calls.
Look, Rochelle, I don't know what you're trying to do, but cut it out.
I'm not trying to do anything, my sweet, except to let everybody know how happy you are with your fiancé, Dobie Gillis.
Did somebody mention my name?
Ah, the long-lost fiancé.
No, there's some mistake. A fiancé. Fiancé?
Quicker, but let's grab some food and cut out.
Are you just going to stand there, Dobie? Aren't you going to greet your fiancé?
Dobie, I'm sorry.
We've been looking forward to meeting the fellow who's been sending all the flowers and the poems and making those romantic telephone calls.
Dobe, this is spooky. Let's zoom.
Well, Dobie?
Well,
Zelda?
Well,
Oh, we've had enough of this little farce. Zelda, why don't you admit you made up the whole thing about that secret engagement? You're no more his fiancé than he is.
Zelda, I'm ashamed of you.
Dobie, I'm sorry.
I'll never forgive you for this.
Please, Dobie.
I'll never forgive you for denying us all these months of happiness by insisting that our engagement be kept secret.
Dobie!
But I guess it's all my fault, my beloved. How could our love remain a secret when the light in my eyes cannot help but reveal how I feel about you, my great tawny animal?
Dobie, my angel.
Oh, I rushed you from camp the moment I was free, my beloved. How my heart cried for you. Ah, yes, why keep it hidden any longer? Let's shout it from the rooftops. Zelda Gilroy and Dobie Gillis are engaged.
Oh, come now.
Oh, come now.
Maynard.
Who do you think you're fooling, Dobie Gillis? Even your own father says you're not engaged.
Naturally, it's a secret engagement. Who do you think we were keeping it a secret from?
Dobie, you're superb.
Yes.
Oh, come now.
Maynard.
Zelda, my dove.
Dobie, my sweet.
Now that we're together, let me put my arms around you and we shall dance the night away. Ah, Zelda, you are lovely.
Dobie, you're a dream.
You are poetry.
You're divine.
When I get you alone, I'm going to strangle you.
I don't feel well.
You look rotten.
Dobie, how can I ever thank you for what you did last night? You saved my life.
Never mind the thanks, Zelda. Just stay about 100 miles away from me so it won't happen again.
You still don't realize that you rescued me because you love me, you poor deluded fool.
Zelda, I like you. I respect you. I admire your superior mind and sterling principles and perseverance and first-rate study habits. But love you? No, Zelda. No. Negative.
Dobie, that's not you talking, that's habit. You've been saying you don't love me for so many years that when you finally understand how you really feel, you won't even know what to say.
I'll know.
What will you say?
Never mind, I'll know.
Tell me what you'd say.
Zelda, please.
You see, you don't know.
Okay, I'd say I love you.
A little louder, please.
Huh?
I want to see if you're saying it properly. Now, go on, say it.
Oh. Okay, I'd say, I love you, Zelda, darling.
Now with feeling.
I love you, Zelda, darling.
Dobie, someday I'm going to get you to say that in front of witnesses.
Fat chance. Look, no offense, Zelda, but the day'll never... Zelda, what have you got in those flowers?
Flowers. Poopsie, just flowers. Let go.
Zelda, a microphone.
Dobie, dear.
You sneak!
Dobie, dear.
Zelda, I'm ashamed of you.
Dobie, let me explain. I did badly, of course, but please listen to me.
Zelda, you have a criminal mind.
Please.
Dobie wants a gal who's creamy. Dobie wants a gal to call his own. Is she blonde? Is she tall? Is she dark? Is she small? Is she any kind of dream at all? No matter hers and hers alone. 'Cause Dobie has to have a girl to call his own.
Or the Spanish-American War, or the War of 1812. I forget exactly. Quiet, respectable, sort of a drag, to be perfectly frank. But then all of a sudden one day, to everybody's amazement, a remarkable thing happened. I graduated. And on that very same day, an even more remarkable thing happened. Maynard graduated. Those happy school days are way, way back in our past. Almost 6 months ago. Today, Maynard and I are mature soldiers in the United States Army. And when we drop in at old Central High for a visit, we are, with adequate reason, I must admit, looked upon as suave, well-informed, educated men of the world. Maynard, put the yo-yo away.
Why? I always spun it when I was a student here.
Maynard, in the first place, you were never a student, here or any place else. And in the second place, that's why you spent 2.5 years in the 9th grade.
See, there's a reason for everything.
Gee, Mr. Pomfret will flip when he sees you. He talks about you all the time.
Ah, yes, good old Pompey.
Pompey?
I see you're shocked that I refer to a teacher in such familiar terms. It's nothing personal, I assure you. Mr. Pomfret's a very fine man, but teachers aren't gods, they're only men.
Yeah, except for lady teachers. Most of them are women.
After you kids get out in the world like Maynard and me, you'll learn that a teacher can have weaknesses just like anybody else.
Even me.
As a matter of fact, when Mr. Pomfret gets here, I'm going to register a couple of complaints about the way he runs his classes.
Me too. Man, all them mean and rotten and illegal things he made us do, like tests and homework, and all the time calling us for young barbers.
Maynard, that's barbarian. You got the right idea. Oh, Mr. Pomfret means well, but just wait till I give him an earful of constructive criticism.
Yeah, I got plenty to say to him, too. I wonder if there's room in the other ear.
Good morning, my young barbarians.
See what I tell you.
I see we're honored by the presence of a pair of distinguished alumni. Yeah, that's you, Mr. Krebs, Mr. Gillis. Have you anything to say to the class?
You bet.
Like ditto.
Like fine. First, I have a brief announcement to make, and then we'll hear your deathless words. Class, for reasons I won't go into right now, at the end of this week, I am resigning my position here and saying goodbye to Central High School forever. Now, Mr. Gillis, Mr. Krebs, if you have anything to say, go ahead.
Dobie! Dobie!
Mr. Pomfret's leaving Central High? I heard it, but I still can't believe it. Sure, he's pretty old. Probably almost 40. But we need him. Losing Mr. Pomfret, it'd be like losing the plumbing. Why is he doing such an awful thing? For what reason?
Money. Like money, Mr. Krebs. Like wampum, like pelf, like loot.
Well, if that's what's bugging you, Mr. P, I'll be glad to slip you a few bob, all the way up to a couple of bucks, and you have to pay no interest. I'm the sporty type.
Thank you, Mr. Krebs. You're all heart. But the problem is somewhat more long-range than that. I'm simply finding it increasingly difficult to support my family properly on a teacher's salary. Why, my wife has to work 3 nights a week as a babysitter, and I don't like it. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Mr. Pomfret, I don't mean to butt in, but you can't leave Central High School. You love teaching. It's your whole life.
No offense, Mr. Gillis, but that's a lot of hogwash. Teaching is merely a way of making a living to me, that's all. Now, excuse me, I'm going to be late.
Mr. Pomfret, if you're not crazy about teaching, why didn't you kick it years ago?
I just never got around to it. Now, look, Mr. Gillis, if you don't mind, I have an appointment.
Don't go, Mr. P. Central High like needs you. I mean, who else could learn me English so good?
Maynard, you're killing the point and sit down.
Oh, it's true. Think how bad I'd talk if he didn't learn me so good.
The mind boggles. All right, Mr. Gillis. You win, I admit it. I've enjoyed teaching, every minute of it. It's a rewarding, satisfying experience. I'm going to miss it terribly. I'd like to do it the rest of my life, but the cold, hard financial facts make that impossible.
Sniff.
Please, Mr. Krebs, no tears. My mind is made up.
Okay, Mr. Pomfret, if that's how it has to be, but at Central High's sure going to miss you.
Thank you, Mr. Gillis.
You're like a real human being, Mr. P.
So are you, Mr. K.
Mr. K?
That's you, Maynard. K for Krebs.
Huh? Oh, yeah, it comes out right. Oh, you're 100%, Mr. P. I don't know how I could have got through high school without you.
I know. I learned you English real good.
Mr. Pomfret is leaving? The guy who learned you English real good?
We just couldn't talk him into staying.
Teacher salaries are going up all the time. It's a pity Mr. Pomfret couldn't hold out a little longer.
Hey, I got an idea. We lock him inside the school and smuggle in his meals, and he lives in there.
Good thinking, man.
Hey, how about that idea? Like, brilliant, huh?
Brilliant, Dad.
Miserable. I'm all so shook up because a fine mind is liable to go gurgling down the drain. Mr. P's mine, too.
Boys, I'm terribly proud of your concern for Mr. Pomfret, but what is the reason for this sudden interest in education and good teaching?
It's because Mr. Pomfret's a credit to the teaching profession. That's the reason. Why, he's done things for us, for all the kids, miles above and beyond the call of duty.
He's a great American like George Washington or Winston Churchill.
I promise you, I'm going to do my darndest to see that future generations of Central High School students don't miss a chance to get Mr. Pomfret for their teacher.
Or General de Gaulle.
Dad, don't you remember how Mr. Pomfret always went to bat for us? Like that time the principal wanted to boot us out of school?
Which time he wanted to?
It was right around the beginning of our senior year. Remember, Maynard? Class hadn't started yet that day, and I was standing in the classroom. Oh, delight of my delights, oh, moon of my Caribbean.
Dobie.
Oh, Prince.
Guess what I got in this box?
I haven't the vaguest notion, Maynard.
Oh, come on, guess.
Why don't you just tell me?
Oh, it's more fun if you guess. Come on.
Okay, let's see now. What would you put in a cardboard box?
Frogs. Yeah, 14 of them. Almost a dozen, and they're beautiful.
14 frogs?
Yeah, they were out of horned toads.
Now look, Maynard.
I know a fellow don't usually think of frogs as beautiful, but these are the most beautifulest frogs that ever were.
Maynard, have you gone wig or something? You've got to get rid of these quick before something awful happens.
What awful could happen? I ain't gonna ask no more dumb questions here.
Good morning, my young thirsters after knowledge. And I use the term with a devil may care abandon. Today, we are going to discuss the dramas of William Shakespeare. And his plays are universally recognized as the outstanding examples of drama in the English. Dr. Livingston, I presume. Now, if I may be so bold, I would like to suggest that we turn to our textbooks, page 208. There we will find Act 1 of Shakespeare's Othello, where the author... What was that?
What was what?
That.
That what?
That.
What's that?
Something's fishy around here.
No fishy. Froggy.
There's something down there. It bit me.
It was me.
Oh, it's all green and moldy.
Yep, that was me, all right.
Hey, class, settle down now, settle down. This is still a schoolroom. I wouldn't want to make book on it. All right, Mr. Krebs, what is this frog doing here?
What frog?
Mr. Gillis, Mr. Krebs, I am going to get to the bottom of this.
Like Jigger's the principal.
Dr. Livingston, I presume? Mr. Pomfret, what is the meaning of this?
Well, Mr. Nettleton, I can explain.
Oh?
Pathetically, of course.
I want the culprits who are responsible for this disgraceful exhibition to step forward.
Okay, culprit, step forward.
Maynard. I did it, sir, but honest, it was an accident.
Me too, sir. And man, was it an accident.
Oh, Mr. Gillis and Mr. Krebs, I should have known. Very well, I want you both to report to my office promptly at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. With your parents. All four of them.
I only got 2. Hello, blabbermouth.
Maynard, he would have found out anyhow. And besides, if you tell the truth, you'll never get in serious trouble.
You're in serious trouble.
Why?
Me.
Krebs, where are your parents?
Like out of town, sir.
When did they leave?
When they heard I was in serious trouble.
When will they be back?
When they hear I'm out of serious trouble.
Now listen to me, Krebs. Something's got to be done about the way you've been...
Mr. Nettleton, Your Honor, sir, Mr. Gillis and I will be responsible for Maynard until his parents return. Won't we, Herbert?
Yeah.
Daddy.
Disrupting a class the way you boys did may seem a minor offense, but it indicates a willful disregard of discipline and the rules of society. Dobie, are you guilty or not guilty?
Sir, would you mind repeating the question? Guilty, sir, guilty.
Maynard, what about you? Guilty or not guilty?
I don't know yet. I haven't heard all the evidence. I'm like guilty, sir, like guilty.
Mr. Nettleton, may I say a few words in defense of these boys?
But they've just admitted they're guilty.
Guilty of what, sir? Releasing a few frogs in my classroom?
14.
Maynard, Sir, I submit that the important issue here is why did Dobie Gillis and Maynard G. Krebs bring those frogs to class in the first place?
Why, indeed?
Yes. I submit that the answer is not a desire for mischief, but a simple curiosity. A curiosity about the world around them. A commendable curiosity about their fellow creatures on this planet. They are investigators, great inquirers, experimenters in the great tradition of the storied army of scientists who went before them.
Us, Mr. P?
Shush.
You present a strong argument in their defense, Mr. Pomfret.
Sir, if we punish a touch of overenthusiasm in the student's pursuit of scientific knowledge, why, we crush the creative curiosity of our young people.
Yay, Mr. P!
As I study the faces of these future scientists, I must confess that I still have my doubts. However, I'm willing to go along with your judgment, Mr. Pomfret. The charges are dismissed.
Attaboy, Mr. N. And Mr. P, too.
So who's... If these boys want to study frogs to see what makes them tick, more power to them. But if it happens again, so help me, I'm going to find out what makes you tick.
Thank you, Mr. Pomfret. Thank you.
We'll never forget you, Mr. Pomfret.
Yeah, thanks, Pompey, old man.
Yeah, thanks, Pompey, old man.
You're welcome. But I'm warning you, boys. One more frog in my classroom, and I'm going to find out what makes you tick.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out what makes you
Yep, good old Mr. Pomfret really came through for us that time.
I could never look a frog straight in the eye again.
We've got to convince Mr. Pomfret that teaching's the only place he belongs in. He'll never be happy doing anything else.
Hey, what if I went over and showed him how good he learned me English?
No offense, Maynard, but over my dead body.
I can recite all the things I know, like always use I before E except after C. Or is it I before E except after S?
Maynard, Hey, it's a sensational idea.
Or is it E before I? You like it?
I love it.
Great, when do I start reciting?
Well, not exactly you, Maynard. Mom, Dad, Mr. Pomfret's been teaching for around 15 years now, right?
Right.
And he's turned out a lot of students who've already amounted to something in the world, right?
Right. Just yesterday I was reading about that Monahan boy. He's become a professor or something over at the university.
Right. This town's loaded with people who were started up the ladder of success by Mr. Pomfret. Now, why couldn't we throw a testimonial and invite a bunch of Central High graduates who've made good? Then Mr. Pomfret will see how important his work is.
Or is it I after E
Not
except?
now, Maynard.
And I'm sure that the school authorities would let you use a classroom for such a worthy purpose.
Yeah, I'll furnish the refreshments. Don't invite over 15 people.
Come on, Maynard, let's shoot over to the school library.
Yeah, no big eaters either.
And we'll get the names and addresses of the most successful graduates out of the old yearbooks.
Or is it E before I?
Sure, and Wilma Klug, she's got a big job downtown with some advertising company. I knew she'd go far.
She had to go far with a face like that. Who's gonna stop her? Shh.
Well, brother, he's right about Wilma. What a kiss. Now, let's see now. We've got names and addresses of doctors, lawyers, engineers, professors, a chemist, newspaper writer. And what important occupations are still missing?
Flagpole sitting?
Hey, look. Walter Funk from the class of 43. You've heard about him.
I sure have. The teachers all the time tell me about him. He always had his nose stuck in some book. Blue squares like that bug me. All the time trying to make cats like me look stupid.
Maynard, Walter Funk is only head of the Los Vanos Atomic Energy Project.
See how much trouble he went to make me look stupid?
Yourself for members of the armed forces.
Hey, Maynard, we've got enough names now. Let's write out the invitation so we can mail them today. Now, just write, Dear Alumni.
No, hold it. How do you spell it?
Alumni, A-L-U...
No, dear.
All right.
All right, P-Dope, I want to do my share of the work.
Okay, you can mail the letters and lick the stamps.
Could I, do it the other way around? It'd be kind of tough licking the stamps once they're in the box.
It's 8 o'clock and nobody's here yet. I'm worried.
What's to worry about? Maynard G. Krebs is on the job.
Maynard, are you sure
Leave him alone, the poor schnook.
Yeah, leave me alone, the poor schnook.
He's doing his best to keep Mr. Pomfret here, like the rest of us alumni.
You too?
You bet. Floyd Trigby, class of 52.
Dobie Gillis, class of 60.
Winifred Gillis. No comment.
So I got a bunch of letters here with the return address for Dobie Gillis.
Dobie Gillis? I'm Dobie Gillis. Hey, these are the invitations. Maynard, you said you mailed them.
I did, honest, though.
And you dropped them in a mailbox on the corner of 4th and Willow.
Like true, you see?
Only it isn't a mailbox, it happens to be a storage box.
Like right, and that's why I had to use a crowbar to get them letters in there.
They've been in there for 3 days.
Yeah, you see, I didn't...
Maynard, how could you do such a... what difference does it make? It was an impossible idea anyhow.
Nothing but a poor, miserable schnook.
Mr. Pomfret's mind's made up, and we couldn't change it.
Mr. Pomfret, the teacher?
Yeah, we were trying to keep him from quitting his job.
Mr. Pomfret leave Central High? He can't do that. He was the best teacher we ever had.
Did you go to Central High, too?
Didn't everybody?
Sure, Monty Ferguson, class of 49. And you had to go foul things up. You lame brain.
Yeah, I brought the ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah. Push the vanilla at 6 cents a gallon cheaper. Hey, and look what else I brought.
I'm Myrtle Tarantino. It's my husband, Clyde.
Clyde Tarantino, how do?
How do?
We went to Central High, too, Clyde and me. We was in the grocery store shopping when your father started out with the ice cream. Well, naturally, we couldn't help overhearing.
Myrtle eavesdrops.
I sure do, baby. What can we do to help? We don't want to see Mr. Pomfret leave either.
Myrtle's very sentimental.
Oh, I sure am, sweetie.
Look, it's wonderful that all of you want to help, but really wonderful, but we had a little trouble with the invitation, so the whole testimonial's called off.
Called off?
Ooh, I got it. Maynard.
How come you blame me?
When something goes wrong, who else?
I'm gonna bash that knucklehead.
No, Myrtle, please, it was an accident. Maynard couldn't help it.
Well, good evening, my...
Why, Mr. Pomfret, how are you?
Hello, Floyd.
Good to see you.
Monty. How are you? Myrtle Clute. I haven't seen you for years.
Well, it's Myrtle Tarantino now, Mr. Pomfret. We're married and have 5 kids.
Oh, no wonder I haven't seen you for years. Mr. Gillis, are you responsible for this?
Well, yes, sir.
I'm very angry with you, Mr. Gillis. When you asked me to come here tonight and I accepted your invitation, I didn't expect anything like this.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Pomfret.
Well, of course, I'm grateful for your efforts to keep me on here at Central High. It's very heartwarming, but well, it's just completely out of the question. All this is very embarrassing.
Please forgive me, Mr. Pomfret. The whole idea was a dud. We were going to have a bunch of your most successful graduates, you know, doctors, lawyers, professors like that, to tell you how helpful you were to them. But it just didn't work out. I'm sorry, Mr. Pomfret. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Look, let's just forget the whole thing and everybody go home, huh?
Without eating?
Maynard, pipe down.
Well, I think under the circumstances, maybe going home is the best idea.
Without eating?
Maynard, pipe down. Just a darn minute. Look, maybe we're not professors or doctors or lawyers, but we graduated from Central High, too. We've got a right to be heard, Mr. Pomfret.
She's right, Mr. Pomfret. Ordinary folks like us, we get a lot out of going to school, too. And you ought to stick around and listen, like Mrs. Tarantino says.
Oh, you call me Myrtle.
Okay, Myrtle.
Look, Mr. Pomfret, you take me, for instance. I mean, I put in a man-killing day, what with those screaming kids and a house to clean and a husband that eats like a horse. No offense, honey.
No offense, dollface. Your cooking does it.
Anyway, by nighttime, I am bushed. I mean, conked out. But you know what I do? I sit me down and read a book. A book?
Myrtle.
No, now, wait a minute. I'm not finished yet. Maybe you think it's funny me sitting down to read a book? Well, I've read me lots of interesting books in the last 6-8 years since I graduated. And if it hadn't been for your classes, Mr. Pomfret, I would never have got past Dick Tracy.
Man, he's a wireless. On Sunday, he always wears a green hat and a yellow coat.
Clam up, kid, or I'm going to have to belt you.
You gotta go along with Myrtle, Mr. Pomfret. I mean, this job I got ain't the greatest in town, but it gives me time to think. And if it wasn't for all that talking we did in your class, I wouldn't even know how to think. You know what I mean?
I think I do, Mr. Trigby. I think I do.
Me? What I remember from your class is poetry, mostly, and the way you were all the time explaining it. I mean, like, take a sky. Oh, it's a sky, sure, but also it's a blanket, or a roof, or a canopy, or a window overlooking the universe, depending on how you look at it. I mean, the way you explained this poetry, I found myself looking at everything altogether different.
Mr. Tarantino, that's a most impressive definition of poetry.
Watching television tires me out and taking care of the kids. But books are restful, like, you know. I mean, there's just you and the story, and you can think about it. There's nothing to tangle up your head.
Mr. Pomfret?
Oh, Monty. I haven't seen you in years either.
Yeah, I've been busy. You know, rain and snow and dark and night and all like that.
Oh, you're one of our unsung heroes.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Pomfret, do you remember how you used to talk to us about bird watching?
Yeah. I remember also how I used to send you to the principal's office when you'd burst into uproarious laughter every time I mentioned it.
Yeah, how about that? Boy, things sure have changed. You know how come I decided to become a mailman?
Mm-hmm.
It's on account of delivering mail as outside work, where I could walk a lot and look at the birds.
You're kidding.
Who's kidding? You happen to be looking at the president of the West Side Birdwatchers Society. And guess what?
What?
Yesterday we saw our first yellow-bellied sapsucker of the season.
No.
And if it wasn't for you, Mr. Pomfret, I probably would have took a job inside behind some desk somewhere, never getting a look at a yellow-bellied sapsucker or a tuft-headed ibis. Criminy, what a waste.
Monty, I'm deeply touched.
That goes for me too, Mr. Pomfret, sir. I know I wasn't the best student you ever had, but then I wasn't the worst. Yeah, I guess I was the worst.
That's true. No offense.
No offense. But going to your classes did me a lot of good, just like they did everybody. You shouldn't ought to leave because there's a lot more people like us than scientists and engineers and cats who mess around with platonic energy.
Yeah, Maynard, that's atomic.
Mr. Pomfret, at first I was pretty upset because this testimonial party fell apart and we didn't have any important graduates here to talk to you. But now I'm glad it happened. I mean, sure, some of the students who went through your classes turned out to be howling successes, but they would have made good anyhow. No, the kids you really helped are the ones like us, the ordinary kids. We learned things from just being in your classes that made all of us better people, with more understanding of what's going on around us, with more, well, just better people. That's the only way I can put it.
Mr. Gillis, sometimes in the noise and excitement of running a class, a teacher loses sight of the goals that he set out to reach. I want to thank you for reminding me of them. You people are my real trophies. Ordinary, down-to-earth, wonderful people who read books and poetry and watch birds because you honestly love doing it, not because you're supposed to like it. The common man, if you will.
Yeah, well, I comment all right.
You sure are, Maynard. All of you are, and I love you for it.
Please, Mr. Pomfret, don't leave us.
Yeah, stick around, Pompey. Be a sport.
Steve, because...
Come on.
All right, now, quiet, students, and Mr. Gillis and Mrs. Gillis. About that sign, Dobie.
Mr. Pomfret, don't go.
Let's get rid of it. Who's going anyplace?
Gee, Doe, I'm getting like all misty.
Maynard, this is the happiest day in the history of Central High. What's to cry about?
Like, true, but I'm crying for Mr. Pomfret's family. The poor souls will starve to death.
Maynard. No, they won't, Mr. Krebs. Why, if my wife has to continue babysitting, I'll just sit with her. In fact, I might even get some customers of my own. If I have to work nights, I'll go right ahead and do it because nothing is going to drag me away from teaching. Because that's what I want to do, and doggone it, I'm going to do it.
Now you're talking, Pomfret.
With me, Mr. Pomfret.
Is it all right if I get all misty now?
Get in line, Maynard.
Seen the day you can gyp Herbert T. Gillis trying to overcharge me a half-cent a pound for coffee. You crooks, you.
Herbert, you spent 3 hours finding a mistake that'll save you $1.
So what? Remember, it's...
The principle of the thing.
No, it ain't. It's the money.
Gillis, how much do I owe you?
Oh, let's see. That'll be $3 even.
3?
Look, those are the prices that prevail. Take it or leave it. There are other stores in town, you know. Nobody's dragged you here. You came in with your own accord.
Dad, that was a magnificent, generous thing to do. I'm proud of you.
You're wonderful, dear. Why, those groceries...
$6.41 exactly. But 2 counts when you're helping a great teacher like Mr. Pomfret.
Dad, we can never thank you enough.
Oh, sure you can. It'll only take you 4 or 5 hours. I figure that the two of you at 50 cents an hour, you can pay me back what Pomfret cost me before dinner time.
Yeah.
Get to work. And on the double.
creamy Dobie. Wants a gal who's creamy Dobie. Wants a gal to call his own. Is she blonde? Is she tall? Is she dark? Is she small? Is she any kind of dreamboat at all? No matter, he's hers and hers alone. 'Cause Dobie has to have a girl to call his own.
Buddy, I'm like scared.
Quiet, Maynard. We're not supposed to talk on guard duty.
Yo, could we like march together so you could like hold me?
No, Maynard. Now walk your post in a military manner.
Don't you hear that?
Yeah, it was pretty close.
It's like cut out again.
Halt! Who goes there? Advance and be recognized. Hey, Sergeant! Sergeant! What's going on here? Sergeant, I think we've trapped an enemy agent.
Yeah, he came here to blow up America and destroy our freedom and liberty, which our forefathers fought and bled for. But he reckoned without the skill and daring of Private Maynard G. Krebs.
Yeah, Private Dobie Gillis.
Yeah, him too.
Where is he? Yeah, in there.
Gentlemen, on behalf of the United States and the free world, I thank you.
Dobie, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba, Dobie, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba, Dobie, Dobie.
Now look, Sergeant.
Yes, Nathan Hale.
Oh, come on, Sergeant.
What is it, Sergeant? You'll be reasonable. It's a dark and stormy night. On nights like this, your imagination plays tricks.
Yeah, when the old lightning starts lightning, the old thunder starts thundering, you think you see all kinds of crazy things.
Oh, yeah.
You don't remember that dark and stormy night we caught a Martian?
I don't think the sergeant wants to hear about that, Maynard.
Oh, yes, the sergeant does want to hear about it.
Oh?
Proceed, Private Krebs. You say you caught a Martian?
Yes, good Sergeant, buddy. In fact, we like caught a lot of Martians.
Yeah, of course, we were very young at the time.
Little tiny kids.
How long ago was it?
About 3 months.
About...
Gentlemen, for the protection of all that is dear to me, mainly this post, you are now relieved. You guys are on.
Good as like a dark and stormy night.
Is that true, Sarge?
Wait a minute. Everything you say is being used against me. Wait a minute. Look, I don't want to hear from Martians. Yeah, Sergeant, it was a dark and stormy night.
Yeah, and me and Dome and Zelda were watching Dobie's father's store.
Zelda?
Yeah, Zelda Gilroy. She's all brain. I can't say much for the rest of her, but man, what a brain.
Well, there we were, the three of us in my father's store on this dark and stormy night.
Why don't we close the store? Nobody but a fish would come out to buy groceries on a night like this.
We can't, Maynard. We promised Dad, remember? I mean, Mom and Dad are entitled to a night off once in a while.
You're all heart, Dobie.
Now cut that out. Can't help it, Dobie. I love you, and you love me too. When I wrinkle, you wrinkle back.
Zelda, I've told you 1,000 times. It's only a reflex.
Pish posh. It's love.
Where'd they go?
Who?
Your mom and dad.
Oh, to the movies.
Ooh, I wish I was down at the Bijou like your mom and dad. I'd be sitting eating my popcorn, so all settled down in one of them furry red seats, watching that great movie.
What great movie?
The Monster That Devoured Cleveland. Gas.
Maynard, how many times have you seen The Monster That Devoured Cleveland?
You mean this year?
Maynard, did you ever see any picture except the monster that devoured Cleveland?
Like, of course.
Like what?
Like the son of the monster that devoured Cleveland. Hey, did I ever tell you about that old monster? Ooh, what a monster that old monster is. He's like walking down the main street of Cleveland, see? And he bites off the piece of the bleachers at the Cleveland Municipal Stadium ballpark and swallows it down with one swallow. And his body's all over. And he just keeps like I'm walking. Guns? He like gobbles down the mayor.
Maynard, you already told me.
Yeah, behind him marches this whole regiment of cats from outer space. Yeah, and they got like 3 eyes apiece, noses like elephants, and little green feelers growing out of their heads.
Maynard, that's ridiculous.
Now, wait a minute, you didn't see the...
I don't care about the movie. What I mean is, when creatures from outer space decide to invade the Earth, they're not going to have 3 eyes and little green feelers.
But they did. If you go down to the preview...
How do you mean, Zelda?
It's perfectly obvious. Look, say the Martians decide to take over the Earth. How would they go about it? Do you think they'd be stupid enough to come here looking the way they really look?
You mean they can look some other way?
Of course. Dobie, have you ever heard of symbiosis?
No.
Maynard?
Look, Zelda, the longest word I know is delicatessen.
Yeah.
Symbiosis is when one organism is living inside the body of another organism. Like for instance, when you get a virus. The virus lives inside your body.
Martians are viruses?
Why not? They don't have to be people like us. They could be like intelligent viruses.
Oh, no. To be intelligent, you gotta have a brain. To have a brain, you gotta have a head. And viruses don't have heads. Right, though?
Right, yeah.
What do they need with heads? They're all brain. Look, if the Martians are smart enough to invade us in the first place, they're a lot smarter than we are, right?
She's right, good buddy. We're not on Mars. I don't think.
But if the Martians use this symbiosis, yet wouldn't we know it? I mean, if they take over somebody's body, couldn't we tell it?
Never. They put you under mass hypnosis.
Mass hypnosis?
Mass hypnosis and symbiosis, too. Ooh, this is like creepy.
You mean they could hypnotize us and make us think we were looking at perfectly normal people?
They do better than that. They'd make you think you were looking at ideal people.
Like what?
Well, in Dobie's case, for example, his ideal is me.
Zelda! Look, you're a great kid, and I admire your brain and your stick-to-itiveness, but ideal, Zelda? No, Zelda.
What's your ideal, good buddy?
Well, first of all, she's not a mere schoolgirl, but an older woman, say 24. She's exactly 5 feet 4.5 inches tall. That's on account of 5 feet 4.5 inches comes right to here, and that's where I want her to be. She has blue eyes, and her hair is blonde, and it's fixed in this particular way. Very sophisticated. First it's braided, see, and then it's wound around the top of her head in a sort of crown. You get the picture? Now, she's beautiful, of course, but not absolutely perfect. That'd only grow monotonous. No, right here in her chin, on the left side, just under the corner of her mouth, there's a little mole.
A mole, Dobe? You wouldn't like want a mole in her face. A mole's a little rat that runs around underneath the grass and...
Maynard, this is a little beauty spot that makes her all the more beautiful. Now, that's the woman who can control my mind anytime she wants to.
Martian scouts, anywhere? Everywhere. Maybe right in this very town, and we wouldn't know it. Think of it. Maybe right outside that very door. One is lurking at this moment.
Maynard.
Yeah,
Maynard.
A monster, yeah.
Maynard,
but a
get hold of
monster
yourself,
cunningly
Maynard.
disguised as plain Bill Jones.
Ooh,
yeah.
Maynard.
Or Jane Smith.
My name is Jane Smith. I want to use your telephone.
Blue eyes, blonde hair wound around the top of her head, and a little mole.
I see. So you assumed that this Jane Smith was a Martian?
Well, Sergeant, it was a dark and stormy night.
And she did have all that blonde hair piled up on top of her head.
Yeah, and the mole. Don't forget the mole.
This friend of yours, Zelda, the one with the giant brain, what did she say?
Well...
Now get hold of yourselves. This is just some silly coincidence.
But she's...
I said, may I use your telephone?
She's the one I was telling you about.
Of course you can use the phone, Miss Smith. It's right behind you.
Thanks.
She's calling her accomplices.
Now, use your heads, both of you. If she'd come in here on a nice sunny morning, you wouldn't have thought anything more of it. You wouldn't have had these crazy notions about her.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Zelda, but where are you going?
To listen.
Maynard, that's eavesdropping.
Yeah, you coming?
No, operator, I'll wait. Well, I'm at Clinton 69491. Now wait. Hello, Chief. This is Jane Smith. I found the perfect spot for us to land. The town is just the right size, and the people are delicious. We can use all of them. I can get you the others right away.
Don't be ridiculous.
Listen to her, Zelda.
That's just the point. If she was coming here to destroy us, do you think she'd let us hear about it?
What could we do? Did you dig that big leather bag she came in with? Probably full of death rays.
I'm in a little grocery store. Gillis. Yes, there's plenty of food. We could probably do some shooting, too.
We're doomed.
There's probably some very simple explanation.
Sure there is. Symbiosis.
Tell the others to meet me here in half an hour. Okay, Chief, I've got it. Everything will be ready by the time the second unit moves in. Meanwhile, I'll take a few shots around here. Bye-bye, Chief.
I'm going for the law, small girl. I'm like entitled to police protection. I'm a taxpayer.
Maynard,
My
you're...
father is anyhow.
Maynard, let's not be hasty.
You don't be hasty. I'm getting down to the station house before that intelligence virus grabs me. Ooh, that Momo.
Did you see a rather large leather bag?
With a lot of crazy gizmos sticking out of it?
Yes.
No.
Oh, there it is. Let's see.
What?
You'll do as a subject.
Ooh, the ray. Oh, no, I say no. Say me good, buddy.
Wait.
Oh, it's got me. I'm like paralyzed, all but my mouth.
What's the matter with you?
Please let me go, miss. Think of my little old gray-haired mother. Think of my little old gray-haired father. He's even littler than my mother. Can I go, huh?
Can I? Yes, you can go. In fact, I wish you would.
How about me, miss? How about me?
No, you stay. I need you.
What?
Don't worry, Dobe. I'll get some help. But if I'm like too late, well...
So you see, Sergeant, you can understand how Maynard and I got confused, can't you?
In a word, no.
It was a dark and stormy night.
And she did have a mole on her chin.
And how about that phone call? All that jazz about second unit and shooting in chief and all like that?
Yeah, how would you figure that?
Well, I'm not sure. But one possibility is that Jane Smith was with a movie company and they were coming to your town to do some filming.
So that's what you would have figured.
Not true?
Well, as a matter of fact, true.
Now listen, does anybody know we're coming to town to make a movie? Fine. Don't breathe a word. You know how they try to raise prices when they find out we're movie people. And that grocery fellow, what's his name? Gillis. Yeah, that's right, Gillis. Tell Gillis to make about 300 sandwiches. The boys from the second unit will be pretty hungry by the time they get there.
Gillis, after your kooky friend here went tearing off to the police station, how come you didn't ask Jane Smith where she was from?
Well, I started to, but she stopped me.
With a ray gun?
No, she ordered 300 sandwiches. And, Sergeant, when anybody orders 300 sandwiches in my father's store, I don't care if they're from Mars, Saturn, or Cleveland. I don't ask any questions.
I see. Krebs, how come you didn't get straightened out when you got down to the police station?
I might have, but somebody else got there ahead of me.
Who?
A little lost kid.
Come on, kid, tell us your name, won't you? How are we gonna find out where you live if you won't tell us your name?
I want to go home.
We'll take you there if you'll tell us where you live. Now, look, here's a nice map of the city. Now, you just show us on which street...
Wait a minute, that's no way to handle a kid. Here, look, kid, look what we got for you. Here. Isn't this nice? Clancy and I found it in the park, didn't we, Clancy? There, a nice baseball...
You don't like baseball, look, kid? Neither do I. Hey.
Yeah, the space helmet. Oh, that's wonderful. Here, kid, put that on. There. Isn't that nice? That's more like it. All right, now, here. You take this ray gun. Clancy, cower in front of that table.
What?
We want to find out his name, don't you?
I'm
Cower.
cowering. I'm
Come on.
cowering. I'm
Okay.
Hands up before I drill you.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Here's the ray gun.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Don't run. Here's the ray gun.
It's like too late. I ran here all the way in my paralyzed leg to tell you it's like too late.
Too late? What do you mean, Maynard?
They're already here. They captured the police station. They... Come with me to the back of the store, Doe.
I don't know what's the matter with you, Maynard, but I can't. I've got to make 300 sandwiches.
300 of them already here, and you're like feeding them. Come on, Doe.
Can't you see
You gotta do it for your good buddy.
Oh, all right. Excuse me for a minute, Miss Smith. My friend here's sort of...
Nuts.
Oh, Yeah.
They've landed. They're down at the police station. I saw it with my own eyes. A small, undersized little monster with a green head. He was like spraying Chief Rosenblum with a ray gun. And Clancy, too, yeah. Death rays were flying all over the place. Ooh, it was like horrible. Both Chief Rosenblum and Clancy were both like flapping around on the floor. Yeah, just like the mayor and the monster that devoured Cleveland.
You mean you really... Oh, come on, Maynard.
You gotta believe me, I'm telling you the truth. And we're next. They're just getting started.
But, gee, Maynard, I don't know what to think.
Maynard, stop! Now, really, Dobie.
But if Maynard saw
what Maynard thinks he saw. Dobie, I'm beginning to wonder if you're really worth all the effort I put in on you. No, that's not true. You are. But you don't make it easy.
Zelda, please. You're wrinkling and Martians are landing.
Now, I want to talk to you alone.
Okay, but if Maynard really saw what he says he saw...
Go away.
Down with Chief Rosenblum.
Down with Chief Rosenblum.
Away! Do you want to ruin the Gillis grocery forever?
Yeah, go ahead, good buddy, just for a minute. You know how smart Zelda is.
I don't think she's so...
I am, and away. Well, what happened to those other two? They're supposed to be making my sandwiches.
Oh, who's making those old sandwiches, all right? Just take it easy, Miss Smith. Maybe like to go out for a little walk, huh?
In the rain? No, I don't want to go for a walk. I've got a lot on my mind. First unit, second unit, food, shelter, background shots. That's it.
It is?
I could take some shots of this store. I've got the equipment in my bag. If only I had a dark room.
A dark room?
Oh, you know what I mean. A room with no light in it so I could expose my negatives.
A room with no light?
Exactly.
I mean, we got a room that's, like, pretty dark.
You have?
In fact, it's very dark. You like to see it?
I certainly would.
You just follow me, and I'll show you.
Oh, this is the room? Looks more like an icebox.
An icebox. Don't be like silly. Like, après-vous. Gee, Krebs, you're like a hero. While the rest of the world sleeps and your good buddies like on Opus Trolley, you and you alone are fighting the enemy.
You locked Jane Smith in the freezer?
It wasn't easy. She was a big, strong girl.
Oh, I bet Gillis's mother and father loved that.
Well, as a matter of fact, I kind of hold my mother and father responsible for the whole thing. If they hadn't picked this night to get playful.
Them rats.
Maynard.
No offense, good buddy. You know your mother and father are aces in my book, but why couldn't they always act like dull and stodgy instead of cutting up like a bunch of performance seals?
Oh, a great little movie you dragged me out to. The Monster That Devoured Cleveland. How silly can you get?
Silly? I thought it was frightening. We mustn't let Dobie see it. Remember the nightmares that he had after he saw Dracula?
He was 9 years old when he saw Dracula, and believe me, The Monster That Devoured Cleveland won't give him nightmares. It might give him a bellyache from laughing. Some monster. Oh, I've come to Earth to find a bride. Come, my pal Judy, you will be my wife.
Take me, I am in your power.
Come, my bride, we must devour, devour, devour.
What's the matter?
Matter.
Dad. Dad, Mom, what's come over you? Why are you acting so crazy?
Who are you?
Who am I? Symbiosis, that's what it is. The intelligent virus got him.
Dad, it's me, Dobie. Don't you know your own son?
I am hungry.
Buddy, I got something to tell you. I got some scary news for you. Them two cats...
Maynard, that's no way to talk about my mother and father.
It's all right this time, because they're not your mother and father.
Not my mother? Maynard, don't you think I know my own parents?
They don't know you.
I know it seems that way, but it's got to be some kind of silly...
Dobe, you got to believe me. They're not your mother and father. It's like with Jane Smith. It's like what Zelda said. They got your mind controlled.
Maynard, that's ridiculous. You mean you think?
Like right off the first spaceship.
Yeah.
Like we got to do something.
I know what I'm going to do.
Where are you going?
I'm going to get Zelda. She's the one who's so sure nobody's a Martian.
Then leave me alone with them.
Look, I'll only be a minute. She's right back there making sandwiches.
Yeah, but... Like, hi.
Food, the monster, food.
Enough of that, Herbert. You've scared the boys half to death. It's all right, Maynard. We were just having a little fun.
Oh, sure. Any intelligent virus likes a little fun now and then.
What are you talking about?
Who knows what Maynard's talking about? Ever. Hey, what's Dobie doing with all the sandwiches?
A woman ordered them.
A woman? Where is she?
In the freezer.
A woman's in the freezer.
Why don't you go look?
Maynard, someday you've got to end up... Do you think he could be for real? There is a woman in the freezer.
Did I just see you push my mother and father into the freezer?
They're not your mother and father. You got to remember that. They're intelligent viruses, symbiosis, mass hypnosis.
Look, I just talked to Zelda.
Uh-huh.
And she... what?
I've been thinking about Zelda. Who's always telling us nobody's a Martian and we're like crazy?
Zelda?
Right. I say I saw a Martian like shooting up the police station. Who says I didn't?
Zelda?
Like, right.
What are you driving at, Maynard? After all, Zelda Gilroy's a good friend of ours.
Uh-huh. You mean the real Zelda Gilroy?
The real You mean Zelda Gilroy out there making 300 sandwiches, isn't?
Any more Zelda Gilroy than you are. They just like sent her on to confuse us.
Maynard, that sounds pretty crazy, but...
Oh, yeah, look here, there she goes.
Well, Miss Smith, I think we have enough sandwiches for the first unit ready. Where's Miss Smith?
Zelda? What makes you so sure there aren't any Martians around here?
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is perfectly ridiculous. Now, where is
Even
Miss-
if Maynard actually saw one at the police station.
Maynard didn't see anything. Maynard is a nut.
Maynard,
You want to talk to Miss Smith, that's right?
Right.
Well, you can talk to her. She's in the freezer.
In the freezer?
yeah.
Have you gone out of your mind?
Well, if you're so sure she's not a Martian, why don't you go let her out?
I most certainly will.
Yeah, go let her out.
Let her in.
What's the matter with you?
What are you fighting?
Oh, I know it sounds weird, Sergeant, but like we keep telling you, it was a dark and stormy night.
And remember, the chick had a mole right in her chin.
And how about the mysterious phone call she made?
And how about the little cat with the space helmet and ray gun down at the police station?
And how about my parents acting like a couple of characters out of Frankenstein?
And how about them actor cats from Hollywood?
What actor cats from Hollywood?
Them actor cats Jane Smith was working with. Well, we thought they was intelligent viruses. The chick virus, she was like the leading lady. Started hollering about where was Jane Smith. They was all hollering. And this screwy-looking virus, the cameraman, it turned out, hollered about where they were going to shoot. Like, shoot. The dope dragged me back and started to snow them viruses into getting into the icebox to find Jane Smith. Man, he showed them that even viruses can get snowed.
How big a freezer has your father got?
Pretty big, Sergeant. I didn't realize it until that night, but it's pretty big.
You mean you put some more people in there?
Oh, sure. Let's see if there was,
Don't tell me. Let me guess. That was the chief of police who came down to your father's store looking for the people from Hollywood. And naturally, you figured that the intelligent viruses had taken over the body, so you into the freezer with him, right?
Good thinking.
Uh-huh. And then there was the cop who came down with the chief, you into the freezer with him too, right?
Good thinking.
And that's it, right?
Bad thinking. You forgot Mr. Nickleby.
Who?
The Hollywood producer. He came along to find out where everybody was. And so...
She frozen, Bloom. You're dead.
Yeah, sure, I'm dead. Look, I haven't got time for any of your nonsense, Maynard Krebs. We're looking for 3 people, 2 men and a girl. Important associates of this gentleman here.
How about I saw that monster rubbing you out, Chief? He had his ray gun, and you and Clancy were squirming on the floor.
Don't waste our time, Maynard. The town has a lot at stake.
Who's this type, Chief? My time is money.
He's just one of our local characters. Don't worry, sir. Dobie, where's your father?
My father? Well, he's... Maynard says he saw you.
I don't care what Maynard says he saw. We have word the 3 people we're looking for are here in the grocery, and we want to see them. This is important.
Symbiosis.
Nice hypnosis.
We gotta act.
Yeah.
Will you 2 idiots stop muttering to each other and make some sense? We haven't got all day.
Right this way, Chief. And you 2 gentlemen, too. Right in here, Chief.
Are you crazy? That's the door to the freezer.
That's right. You said you wanted to talk to my father. Well, he's in there.
In the freezer?
In fact, they're all in there.
What do you mean, all? I thought I knew some nuts in Hollywood, but you 2. He's right, Chief. They are in there. Dozens of them.
What?
Come on, help me get them out.
I'm right behind you.
Now, tell me, having saved this country from this dread invasion, what did you do next? Call the Army, the Navy, or the Marines?
Oh, no, Sergeant. We went right to the top. Hello, operator. Give me long distance.
Who you like calling?
Maynard, long distance? I want to place a call to Washington, D.C. That's right. The White House.
Oh, good thinking, Dope.
Yeah. Oh, and, reverse the charges.
Did you have a nice talk with the president?
He wouldn't accept the charges.
What a shame. Now tell me, are those people still in the freezer?
Oh, no, they got out.
And I suppose you all had a nice laugh about the whole thing.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Me neither.
Yeah, you gotta admit, that was a pretty good joke that was played on us. You know, it showed a lot of imagination, them thinking we were Martians and all that stuff there. There's some more hot coffee, anybody
Gillis.
wants. I just happen to have a couple hundred more sandwiches around here.
Gillis.
Yes, Chief.
Shut up.
Now, Chief, don't you think that...
Shut up. Chief.
Are you forgetting your boyhood days? Are you forgetting how we used to play pranks on our elders? Nice, simple, boyish pranks? Oh, I'll admit it got pretty chilly in there, but after all, boys will be boys. Yeah, boys will be boys.
Dobie, once a gal who's creamy, Dobie, wants a gal to call his own. Is she blonde, is she tall, is she dark, is she small, is she any kind of dreamer at all? No matter, she's hers and hers alone. 'Cause Dobie has to have a girl to call his own.
Are fond of calling our heroes by hard-hitting nicknames. Ah, what memories are stirred by the sound of Stonewall Jackson and Blood and Guts Patton. And in our outfit, Lieutenant Spunky Merriweather.
I'll make this brief. It's chow time, and you're hungry. But I've got some big news. As you know, basic ends next weekend. And if our company performs up to standard, there'll be passes for everybody. Now, the command has decided, and I'll admit to a modest role in the arrival at this decision, to designate the weekend as Parent Visiting Weekend. I want every soldier to write and invite his parents here for the final drills, field problems, and retreat. I want your parents to take a good look at you, to see how each and every one of you has been transformed into an American fighting man. Intelligent, resourceful, lean, fit, trim, neat.
You rang? I wouldn't exactly call my friend Maynard G. Krebs a bad soldier. Yes, I would. That's exactly what I'd call him. But he's darn near through basic training now. A spooky thought in itself. And he and all the rest of us are getting excited about our graduation and Parents Visiting Weekend. The parents are excited too, I'll bet. I mean, I wrote to Dad about it. Now imagine how happy he'll be when he gets my letter.
Don't bother reading the boy's letter, Winnie. Let me guess.
Herbert, really?
Dear Mom and Dad, I am fine. How are you? As I am a little short of cash this week, please send me $25.
Herbert, really?
I'm wrong?
Yes, you're wrong.
All right, what does he say?
Dear Mom and Dad, how are you? I am fine. As I am a little short of cash this week, could you send me $10?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misjudged the boy.
And that's not all. We're invited to visit him.
Oh, I gotta take the cash up to him personally, huh?
You weren't even listening. We're going up for Parents Visiting Weekend. And we're going to see the maneuvers, whatever they are, and watch him graduate from basic training.
Watch him go through a mess of back-breaking training exercises, huh? Hey, that'll be fun. Seeing how the Army has turned soft, flabby boys into strong, hard, disciplined men.
Oh, dear, you mean they've brutalized my baby? Taken the dimples out of those rosy cheeks, the sparkle out of those mischievous eyes.
Winnie, it had to happen sometime. After all, he is no longer a baby learning soft, sweet, gentle things from his soft, sweet, gentle mother.
If they've changed 1 inch of my baby, I'll clobber them.
Winnie.
I'll break every bone in their miserable bodies.
Winnie.
I'll pulverize them, the cowards.
Winnie, it is only natural for a boy to suddenly grow up and become a man. Remember how it happened to me in WW2?
It did?
Well, of course it did.
Well, if you say so, dear.
Never mind the sarcasm. Wait till you see how it's happening to him. When you get down to camp, you're going to see what the Army has turned him into.
I'll batter him.
Winnie, you are going to see a man. Strong, hard, self-reliant, ready to face the toughest emergency, able to endure the most punishing hardships.
Maynard, would you cut the fan? I'm getting a windburn.
Hey, Dope, clue me about this Parents Visiting Weekend.
Sure, Maynard. What do you want to know?
Who's it for?
Parents.
Oh. What's it for?
Visiting.
Oh. When's it for?
This weekend.
Oh, Parents Visiting Weekend. That's how I got the name, though. Parents Visiting Weekend. You get it? Parents Visiting Weekend.
Good thinking.
That's like brilliant. I sure got it up here, huh, Doe?
You sure have, Maynard.
Yeah, and some people say I don't use my head. How come?
The green-eyed monster.
Like where?
Here, forget it. Never mind. Forget it, Maynard. Forget it. Boy, I can hardly wait to see Mom and Dad.
Yeah, me too.
Well, good. Then your folks are coming.
I don't know. I didn't even invite them.
Maynard, you just said you could hardly wait to see your Mom and Dad.
No, I can hardly wait to see your Mom and Dad. They're like real human beings.
Maynard.
Your mom is anyhow.
Look.
Your father's kind of mean and rotten, and all the time hollering. No offense.
No offense, Maynard.
Yeah, but his heart's in the right place, and he means good.
Uh-huh.
But it must be all kind of scrunched around, because he comes out mean and rotten and all the time hollering.
Maynard, enough! Now, here. I want you to write to your folks this minute and invite them up for Parents Visiting Weekend.
Dope, I don't like to write letters.
Then phone them.
I don't like to phone either.
Maynard, at the moment, we happen to be out of carrier pigeons.
Wait.
Right.
Dear Sir or Madam.
Maynard, they're your folks.
Oh, yeah. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Krebs.
You know, this will be great. After 8 weeks, I'm finally going to see my folks. But gee, it's been so long. I hope we won't treat each other like strangers.
Hey, Dobe.
Yeah?
How do you spell Krebs?
So our preparations for Parents Visiting Weekend began. We wanted to impress our folks when they came up to visit, to let them know that the awkward, helpless little boys they said goodbye to a few weeks ago were now awkward, helpless little soldiers. We wanted to show them that we were tough and independent, able to do things by ourselves. 45, 46, 47, 48. Pretty good, huh, Sarge?
Dandy.
You said this was going to be hard.
Try it without your buddy, Gillis.
You're kidding.
Krebs, back off. Okay, Gillis.
I see what you mean.
As you were. Sergeant, I've got great news for you. Your squad has been chosen for the plum of the entire maneuvers. I'm proud of you, Sergeant.
You mean, sir?
Operation Xerxes.
The secret mission?
The 2-week special training?
Suicidesville?
Right. The Expendables.
We hardly dared to hope.
Well, that's it. Let's stay in line now. Toe the mark. Keep up to snuff. Stay on the ball. Stick with it. Keep our noses clean and give it the old try. It's your chances to be real heroes, men. So get rested up. This is going to be it.
This is going to be it. I'll tell you what it's going to be. A headache. Our folks are coming up tomorrow. But instead of spending the whole weekend with them, we'll have to spend part of the time going through some mixed-up maneuvers. Doggone it. I love the Army, but why do they have to do things upside down and backwards?
Oh, I love the way they do things in the Army, Winnie. You know, with that zing pow.
I wonder where Dobie is. Isn't he supposed to meet us here?
Oh, he'll be right here. Don't worry.
Oh, I can hardly wait. You know, Herbert, this is really a very nice place. It's not at all primitive like I expected from what you've told me.
Oh, that's all on the surface. Underneath, there's still that iron discipline, rugged living conditions, back-breaking training exercises. Oh, ain't it great?
You know, Herbert, from the way you talk, I get the impression that you really want Dobie to suffer.
Well, the more hardships he's endured, the better it is for him. You know, the tougher the training, the stronger the soldier. That's why he'll be a little grim and tight-lipped, maybe even a little surly.
Hi, Mom.
Good to see you.
I've gone out already.
And Maynard, dear, your parents couldn't come. Oh, they were so broken-hearted. They talked about it and planned it all week, and then last night, just as they were packing, your father broke out in a terrible case of hives.
He always gets them when he hears my name mentioned like 3 or 4 times real fast. Yeah, when my mother has to mention my name to him, she usually spells it out.
Maynard.
All he gets is a little rash.
Hey, Maynard.
When he sees my name written down, it hardly bothers him at all. Just a few little goosebumps is all.
That's all right, dear, because we promised your parents that we'd keep an eye on you, and so you'll be our other soldier for the weekend. Isn't that right, Herbert?
Yeah, sure. Well, if you yardbirds can get off the post for chow, the treat is on old Sergeant Gillis. I'm going to take you out and get you a real meal. And I'll wrap you around a big steak, someplace where you'll feel free to talk, without being afraid of your old iron pants lieutenant. Oh, I know those guys. They get a hold of a manual and...
Folks, I'd like to have you meet our CO, Lieutenant Iron Pants.
Very well, yes, sir. I'd like you to meet my folks, Mr. and Mrs. Herbert T. Gillis. Lieutenant, my father was a first sergeant in the last big one.
Indeed, sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Why, it just happens that one of my personal heroes is the great Teddy Roosevelt. Wish I could have served under him, too.
I was referring to WW2, son, Lieutenant. That was just a short while ago, remember?
Yes, sir. Yes, of course. And we haven't forgot the debt we owe you, Sergeant Gillis.
No, thank you.
What you did then with what you had was mighty important. Now, Private Gillis, Private Krebs, you'll be wanting to start the folks on their tour.
Oh, yes, the program sounds exciting.
There's plenty to choose from, Mrs. Gillis. The regimental ping-pong finals are going on. I'll be moderating the foreign policy debate in the auditorium. Ought to be a thriller. We've got some fine young minds going for A Company. Lots to see today. Well, if you'll excuse me.
What a nice young man. Oh, I'm so pleased that you didn't have to serve under some mean, twisted old veteran. No offense, Herbert.
If I had him with me for a while, I'd Teddy Roosevelt him. That's your CO, that prep school valedictorian?
He's really a nice fella, Dad. A perfect gentleman.
Yeah, you ought to hear him sing camp songs. He knows 85 verses of Ivan Stravinsky Skavar.
Nice fella, huh? Mm-hmm. Perfect gentleman. Camp songs? What kind of an army is this, anyway?
Dad.
You're not supposed to be buddy-buddy with your officers. You're supposed to be scared of them.
Sometimes they're pretty scared of me.
The Army's supposed to be rock and iron, not silk and satin.
You've got it all wrong. Everything in the Army isn't soft and easy.
No, it's good to hear that. For a minute there, you had me worried. Oh, and the food. Hey, I'll bet that's just as miserable as ever, huh? Oh, Winnie, where do you get a load of this Army food? Oh, it's wholesome and nourishing, yeah, but it takes strong teeth to break it down and real guts to swallow it, huh?
Pretty good sirloin, huh, Doe?
Not as good as the porterhouse yesterday.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But remember, today we got coconut custard pie for dessert, and yesterday all we got was hot fudge sundaes.
Well, this ain't the way we used to do it. I bet we win the brigade ping pong title this year, huh?
Yeah, I hope so. That'd mean 3-day passes for everybody.
This ain't the way we used to do it.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? And welcome to number 12 in our series of great debates. Our motto for today is, a thinking soldier is a happy soldier. As we all know, there's nothing like a good, sharp battle of wits to flex our lazy mental muscles. The topic for today is resolved, that Mars should be an open planet.
Phew, this ain't the way we used to do it. What kind of an outfit is this, anyway? Soft beds and good food and liking your officers? Oh, you boys are spoiled. You got good potential, but you're spoiled. And what's going to happen to you when you get out in the field with this kind of training? Snafu, that's what.
We trained hard for tomorrow.
Yeah, we went through like the ringer.
Yeah, well, what do you got to do?
Well, it's confidential.
A military secret?
Well, sorta.
But then you mustn't tell anybody, especially your father. Come on, Herbert.
Now, hold on.
And come on, dear.
You go ahead. I'll be right there.
Well, all right, you'd better be. Good night, boys. And remember, loose lips sink ships.
What a memory she's got. Loose lips sink ships. You'd think I was some kind of an enemy agent or something. Nobody has to tell First Sergeant Herbert T. Gillis about security.
I'm glad.
Okay, now, what's the secret mission you're going on?
Dad.
Come on.
No.
A raid, eh? Oh, a secret raid behind enemy territory. That's it, huh?
Yeah, well, sorta.
Mm-hmm. And this is the squad.
Uh-huh.
Tell you what, I'm going to do you boys a favor.
Dad, do me a favor and don't.
I am personally going to get you guys in shape for these maneuvers.
Dad.
Look, all I have to do... Dad, is dig into my little bag of tricks from WW2, and this will be the best outfit in this man's army.
Dad.
Now, you wonder how... Maynard, you stay out of this, will you? Now, you wonder how I'm going to do it, huh?
Not me. I wasn't wondering.
Maynard, well, I'll tell you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to break you out before reveille. I'm going to use up your 2 hours of rest periods. I'm going to use up your sack time. I'm going to use up your recreation time.
And I wasn't even wondering.
Maynard.
Now, you're wondering what I'm going to do with these precious hours, huh?
Not me. I wasn't wondering. Were you wondering, though?
Not really.
Maynard, one more crack out of you and... Well, the old Sarge, that's me. I'm going to teach you hand-to-hand combat, jungle warfare, how to survive, how to live.
How to cut out.
Let him go if he wants to, the slacker. We don't want any gold bricks in this outfit.
Yo, Maynard's no slacker, Dad. He's as brave and full of fight as any man in this squad.
I am?
Sure you are.
Sure I am. I am?
Right. He'll stick with us no matter what.
I will?
Sure you will.
I will. I will?
Right.
I do a lot of things I never thought I did.
Maynard, go to sleep.
Okay.
He's sleeping in his uniform.
Yeah, that's how he presses it.
Huh? That figures.
Dad, I appreciate what you want to do, but it's impossible. We have to go through these maneuvers ourselves.
And that's exactly what you're going to do, only I'm going to show you how to do them better. Oh, come on, boy. You can't deny your father a chance to do something for his son.
Oh, you've done plenty for me, Dad.
Oh, no, I haven't. I never had a lot of money to give you, and I'm certainly not the best educated or most cultured guy in the world.
That's true, Dad.
Don't agree so quick, huh?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's just that, well, there's one thing I can give you. It's the benefit of my experience in the Army. Oh, you can't blame a father for wanting to do something good for you.
I don't know, Dad.
Oh, come on.
Well...
Come on, I'm trying to get some sleep.
All right, Dad. Maynard, go back to sleep.
Okay. Oh, thanks, boy. And you'll never regret this. Well, you better hit the sack and sleep on the double, because I'm going to make these guys hit the deck tomorrow morning at 0400. That's 4 o'clock in the morning, a.m., you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to turn them into vicious, snarling fighting machines.
You rang?
In, right, in, out, in, left, in, out, in, and out, 1, 2.
And that just about does it, men. And I want to say you really showed the old Sarge something. You done your calisthenics, your creeping and crawling, your cover and concealment, hand-to-hand. Now there's just one more thing. Scaling a wall.
Oh.
No talking in the ranks there. All right, now, on the double, get ready to scale. Maynard, you are the man over.
Do I have to?
You have to. All right, on your mark, get set, go! There you go. That was swell.
Cool.
Well, men, that does it. And I just want to say that I've never led a finer group of men in my life. Of course, you've had the benefit of my experience, but we won't tell anybody about that, huh? And I just want to wish you the best of luck on your secret mission. You better get back to your barracks now, Chance. Yes.
Hey, Dad, come here.
What are you grinning about?
Huh?
What's the matter with him?
Huh?
He's deaf, Dad.
Deaf?
Huh?
He landed on his head.
I landed on my head.
He always does.
I always do.
Oh, my gosh, this is terrible. How long does it usually last?
Huh?
Not more than a day or two, most of the time.
Huh?
Listen, we gotta get this guy to the medics.
Yeah.
Which way's the hospital?
Go over that way.
All right, now you take one arm, I'll take the other, and we'll lead him over. So.
Hold! I know what you're saying. You say you're going to take me to the hospital. I'm not going because I'm part of this squad, and if I don't show up, the whole squad will be like grounded.
But, Maynard, you can't come along. You can't even hear commands.
Huh?
Maynard, you got to go with us.
Go with you?
Yeah.
No, sir. Because if my squad is bound, there's going to be no 3-day passes for nobody. And I can let my good buddies down. Not me, Maynard G. Krebs, Private U.S. Army.
Third squad, attention, men. Report to the staging area on a double. Maneuvers begin at sunup.
What are you guys listening to?
You see, Maynard, you can't go.
Huh?
Toad, do you think we could find a replacement?
With only a couple of minutes left, where are we going to find a replacement?
I think I know where.
If you're thinking what I think you're thinking, no offense, Dad, but no, you couldn't do it.
Maynard, get out of those fatigues.
Dad, this is a very tricky assignment.
Maynard? Huh? Get out of those fatigues. You guys earned this pass, and I'm not going to keep you from getting it.
Dad, you don't know what you're getting into.
I'm getting into Maynard's fatigues. That's what. Come on.
All right, you guys, that's it. Pick up your gear. You know your jobs. Nothing more to say than good luck. Move!
Nobody's looking, Dad. You can still duck out.
Don't worry, boy. The old sergeant ain't going to let you down. Come on.
Here, you see the start of Operation Xerxes. These men, your boys, are starting a mission which they've rehearsed for weeks. Now, let's get into the buses and proceed to the operational site for the dramatic conclusion. Over this way.
Lieutenant Merriweather, Lieutenant, isn't there some way that we could locate my husband? He was with my son.
There's bus transportation from the barracks to the field, Mrs. Gillis. Don't worry. Your husband isn't going to miss out on this.
The airplane. What are we doing in an airplane?
Dad, I've been trying to
you
tell
guys got it soft. In my day, we had to slog our way over to the maneuver area. Oh, we were foot soldiers in those days, boy.
Dad.
Nowadays, they chauffeur you around in airplanes. Oh, this ain't the way we used to do it.
Dad, listen.
Oh, for goodness sake. What are you so nervous about? What's to be afraid of over a little airplane ride? Well, I flew over to Cleveland to see your grandmother last summer, and I wasn't nervous, not for 1 minute. Dad, will you listen?
Check your gear!
Gear. In my day, gear meant a big, heavy pack. Now it's a parachute. Oh, what a bunch of lily-livered pantyways. Can't even take a little airplane ride without wearing a parachute. I flew all the way to Cleveland without one, and back, too.
Dad, I give up. I'll say no more.
Good.
Because it's too late.
Too late for what? Will you stop jabbering and calm down?
You guys all set?
That I am. The old sergeant won't let you down, son.
All right. We're over target. Stand up and hook up.
Hey, Dad, this is it. Take your static line and hook it up.
Yeah, I heard him. Stand up and hook. Stand up and hook up.
I was trying to tell you we're jumping.
We're jumping? I ain't jumping.
I tried to tell you.
I won't.
You got to.
Look, I'm a citizen and a taxpayer. I know my rights.
It's easy, Dad.
I won't.
Just step out.
I'm overage.
All right, get ready.
Just count 3, and then if your chute doesn't open, pull this.
You guys jump. I'll meet you after we land.
10 seconds. Watch for the green light.
10 seconds, green light.
Move to the door.
Move to the door.
Here they come. Your boys hitting the silk. A great moment for you proud parents.
Oh, I don't know whether I can watch. They're so young, so sweet.
But they're men, Mrs. Gillis, for all their youth.
My little boy.
Oh!
Dad! No. Dad, just say Geronimo.
Geronimo!
Is it, Dad?
Here they come. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful.
Oh, I don't know when I've been so thrilled. My little Dobie.
You can be very proud, Mrs. Gillis. That takes a lot of courage, even for a young man like Dobie.
Oh, poor Herbert. He's going to be so sorry. He's missed the most exciting part of the whole weekend.
Parachute jumping may never be the same, but Dad finally got his feet back on the ground, and our squad got through maneuvers without anybody ever finding out that one of us was a slightly overaged ringer. Yep, Dad was a real hero, brave, fearless, and daring. And then he had to face Mom.
Now, Winnie, I can explain.
If it weren't for him, we all would have been scared to jump.
Yeah? Yeah.
It gave us courage to do what we were all afraid to do.
Yes, I did.
If anybody deserves congratulations, it's Dad.
Oh, well,
Mom, Dad was a real hero.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Nah, neither would I.
Well, parents, visiting weekend's over. And we're back to the hard, rigorous Spartan life. Oh, sure, it was fun kidding around with our folks and relaxing. But we're soldiers with a job to be done. Soldiers with a goal to be reached. Soldiers, well, mostly we're soldiers.
I'm no soldier. All through training, I've been like a gallstone around your neck.
Maynard, that's millstone around here.
See, even you, my best and only good buddy, admit it.
I do not admit. I mean, you're no millstone. Why, you've been making your own bunk for days now. Carrying your own pack. You're a real dog face, just like the rest of us. You're important, valuable, needed.
Gee, Dobie.
So come on, get up off your sack, take a shower or two, and we'll go to chow.
Cool, Dobie. I'm with you. A couple more days and we got it made, and I'll make it, Dobie.
Oh, hello. To the soap.
Hey, Dobe. Do I have to?
What?
Shower?
Yeah.
Dobe, do I really have to?
You really have to.
Oh, Dobe.
Dobie. Wants a gal who's creamy, Dobie. Wants a gal to call his own. Is she blonde? Is she tall? Is she dark? Is she small? Is she any kind of dreamboat at all? No matter, she's hers and hers alone. 'Cause Dobie has to have a girl to call his own.
Emotionally stable and realistic.
Yeah.
I knew the minute we met this morning.
After all, we're both in school, so we'll have to plan our marriage carefully.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Okay, now the way I see it is this: we need an income.
Right.
We can't live on my allowance. I can't live on my allowance.
You're right.
We'll both have to make sacrifices.
Oh, yes, Dobie, I'll sacrifice
Good.
as long as we can be together.
Good. Now, it goes without saying that you'll have to quit school and get a job.
Oh, yes. Yes, Dobie, I'll work and slave for you.
Yes.
As long as we have our evenings free for parties and dances and movies.
My dear, a man doesn't become a good provider by running around having a good time. I'll have to spend my evening studying.
Oh, you're right, you're right. Oh, well, I'll be happy just to sit at home and watch you study.
No, my sweet. I have to study at Zelda Gilroy's house. I mean, who else can help me with my studies so that I can graduate with honors and be a good husband
You're
later?
right.
See?
Well, go to
Yes.
Zelda's house. I don't care if I never see you as long as we can be together.
Phyllis, dear, you're the cream in my coffee, the pearl in my oyster, the star in my heaven,
Cease and desist.
fly in my ointment.
Hi, Poopsie. Hello, Phyllis.
Zelda, I know why you're here, and flake off.
I only came to wish you many, many years of happiness, Phyllis.
Zelda.
And I just happen to have with me a copy of Dobie's latest grades.
Look, Zelda.
Which, as you will notice, were the top grades in the bottom 10th of the class.
Zelda, cut out, will you?
You're a very lucky girl, Phyllis. Here's the results of his latest intelligence test. Also, a sample of his handwriting and a picture of his father, your future father-in-law.
Dobie, this is your father?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
That's an old picture.
Taken when he was young?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Phyllis. Phyllis Gillis. That will
Gillis?
be your name, Phyllis Gillis.
Well, what's wrong with
You
Phyllis
will be
Gillis?
married to the only man, may your union be blessed with many little events, the only man whose entire insides are upside down. Regardez his x-ray.
Well, everything looks right to me. Oh, thank you, sister.
Here, Phyllis, my
That's
love.
for you. Ooh.
Zelda, that was unprincipled, treacherous, foul, mean, contemptible, and low.
Sure was, Poopsie, but I forgive you.
Zelda! Zelda thinks she can wreck all my romances with other girls. That's what she thinks. And you know something? She's right. Except for one girl, Mary Ann Crowlish. Zelda'll never split up Mary Ann and me. You know why? Because Mary Ann and me will never get close enough to split up.
I know I'm enchanting and gorgeous and desirable, but what can I do about it? It's just the way I am. Poor little me.
See what I mean? There's this vision of loveliness, Mary Ann Crowlish. And here I am, worshiper of beauty. But it looks like we two shall never meet. It's awful. I mean, it's cruel twists of fate like this that can turn a strong man into a quivering, helpless, babbling, mindless hulk.
You rang? Dope? Hey, Dope, it's me. Dope?
She doesn't know I'm alive.
Are you?
Unrequited love, the sheer pain of it.
Maybe your belt's too tight.
Maynard, you always manage to say just the right thing.
What's a friend for?
I only wish I were an apple on a tree and Mary Ann had come along and take a bite out of me.
She won't bite you.
I know.
I'll bite you, good buddy.
Maynard.
What's a friend for?
I wish to make an announcement. You're all terribly sweet. Every terribly sweet man jack of you. But there's really no point because I'm practically engaged.
Well,
So farewell, my dear ones, and may you all find happiness elsewhere. My dear ones. Dobie.
Me?
Yes.
Me?
Yes, Dobie, you.
Me, Dobie, me?
Wouldn't you like to take me dancing tonight?
Yeah, but Mary Ann, you just said you were engaged.
I said practically engaged.
To who?
You.
Me? Dobie, me?
I watch you in social science. I can hardly study. I just watch you.
Him, Dobie, him?
And I wonder about you, think about you.
Me?
Him?
Maynard, you're supposed to be on my side.
Don't you like me a little?
Like you. Mary Ann, I love you.
He wants to be an apple
And
on
I
a tree.
love you, Dobie.
He wants you should bite him.
Maynard, why don't you go home and feed your iguana?
He don't need me no more, Dope. He can open the icebox door himself now.
Dobie, Poopshin!
No, Zelda, please, not again. Not
Dobie
again.
and Amarato, what are you doing hanging on to Mary Ann's arm in a manner unbecoming someone sworn to another, namely me?
I am not sworn to you, Zelda.
Quibble, quibble. We are a fact, a verity. Dobie, you and I, we are simply a thing that exists.
Kill it before it spreads.
Mary Ann Crowlish, you and Dobie?
What can I do, Zelda? I'm hopelessly enmeshed.
Oh, is that a
yes.
fact?
Mhm.
Well, get a load of this.
Oh,
honey.
no, Zelda.
It's no use, Zelda. I know all about Dobie's
Ignore
grades, his
Mary Ann.
IQ, and
Mary
his
Ann, look,
father.
look. You know all that and you still want me? Well, Zelda, you might just as well flake off.
Well, how about this x-ray?
I know all about that, too.
Knows about that, Zelda. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you just one more thing.
What?
Why?
Why what?
Why him?
Yeah, why him?
It's very simple. You, Zelda, are beyond doubt the most brilliant girl in the entire school. Not only that, but you also have the most brains.
Accurate, but what's that got to do with Dobie?
You have seen something beneath Dobie's dull exterior. A person of my meager intelligence might never discover it. But if you want Dobie, then there must be something magnificent in him. Underneath. In there somewhere.
You mean you want Dobie just because I want Dobie?
Why, yes, of course. I know you must want the best, because the best is none too good for you. You want Dobie. Therefore, he must be the best. Is that clear?
Now, let me get this straight. If I happen to be 8 for somebody else, you would switch over to that somebody else, right?
Right.
Maynard, I love you.
What?
Now, Poopsie, don't fly into one of your jealous rages.
I can't fly. Not very high, anyhow.
Maynard, it isn't really Dobie I love. It's you. You. Do you hear?
Oh, come on. Oh, like help. Let go, small girl.
Mary Ann, this is a trick. You know how cunning and crafty she is.
Oh, I know.
Oh, Mary Ann, if you only suspected the strength in this man, the power, the poetry.
Picture me, don't love me, please.
Maynard, kiss me.
Ooh, what you said. Oh, please. Oh, I don't like girls. I don't like you. Let me go, please.
Kiss me, so help me, I'll break your neck.
Break the neck.
Zelda, it's no use.
That's right, Zelda. No use at all.
You don't believe me, huh?
No. But I admire you. How cleverly you fight to keep Dobie. Oh, Dobie, you must have so much underneath.
Yes.
In there somewhere.
Yeah, hidden very deep.
I suppose.
And, you don't want Maynard. No.
Come, Dobie. Love, to the malt shop.
Yes, my sweet.
Well, here we are.
Yep, here we are.
Together.
Together.
For always and always?
For always and... well, maybe.
What's the matter? Don't you want to be with me always?
More than life itself.
But?
Zelda, she's not going to give up, Mary Ann. She's going to keep trying to split us up.
But what can she do?
Whatever's required.
Oh.
We've got to be alert, Mary Ann. We've got to watch that Zelda every minute.
What ho, pheasants?
Maynard, that's peasants.
Yeah. Listen, Dobe, I want to invite you out to my beach house in a couple of years.
Beach house?
Yeah, Dobe, that's a house that's like on the beach.
I know.
Yes, sir. Instead of living in one sloppy room like I do now, I'll be living in my beach house in 12 sloppy rooms.
Maynard, where are you getting this beach house?
I'm marrying some money, Dobe. Millions and millions.
Marrying. Maynard, I thought you hated women.
I do, Dobe, but this ain't exactly a woman. It's more like a bank with a ponytail.
Who is she?
Zelda Gilroy.
Zelda? She's got millions? Or what?
Money, good boy. Look, I'll prove it. Here, look. This is just one of them. And there's millions more where this came from.
Thank you. You see, Marianne? She's still trying to convince you that she and Maynard are a hot item. She'll drop me and grab him.
Ooh, is she rich, that Zeld? She owns 50% of her uncle's uranium plantation.
Yeah, she's so tricky, she'll stop at nothing.
Maybe she really does love Maynard.
Oh, she does. She's giving me her share of the uranium.
Maynard, she hasn't got any uranium.
I saw it with my own eyes. She's got a sample in a tube.
Maynard, you can't keep uranium in a tube.
In a tin tube? Made out of tin?
How do you know it was uranium?
I saw it. In fact, I even smelled it.
Uh-huh. And what did this uranium smell like?
Well, you won't believe it, Dobe, but it smelled exactly like toothpaste.
I rest my case. Come, Marianne, my dear.
Okay. So I lost the battle, but I'm gonna win the war, by George. I'll get you back, Dobie Gillis. Don't you worry.
Dad, weren't you involved with another girl when you met Mom?
Son, that's a question that deserves an honest answer. None of your cotton-picking business.
I heard she jilted you.
Who jilted me?
The other girl.
No, I met your mom, and then I jilted the other girl.
Oh, did she stay jilted?
Well, son, it's a very sad tale. Poor girl went all to pieces, never did go over. Married some little guy on the rebound. Oh, she was a sad creature. Do you know, to this day, when I see her, she kind of drops her eyes and hides her face in the collar of her big mink coat and tells her chauffeur to drive on.
Hi, Mrs. G, Mr. G. Dobie, dear, I just came over here to give you a sense of the historic crossroads at which you now stand. Now, I've got...
Some diabolical plan is what you've got.
Quiet. This is a moment of fateful decision.
Yeah.
Dobie, down one road lies romance.
Romance.
A girl with a gorgeous figure and a beautiful face who can give you absolutely nothing but a lot of bliss.
Bliss, yes. But on the other road, you.
True, but also fame, wealth, and power. Dobie, with your negative face and inoffensive personality and my brains, drive, and ambition, you could go right to the top.
The top of what?
Why, Herbert, that's no way to talk. You know that Dobie has the seeds of greatness in him.
If he's got all these seeds rolling around in him, how come up till now we haven't seen one little blossom? I'm just stating the facts, sad though they may be. Give me one slice of evidence that he's ever going to be great. Just one.
I'll give you several. In the first place, he's your son.
You can't miss, boy. You got to
Don't worry. I'll see to it that Dobie uses his tremendous potential. Why, Poopsie, with just very little effort, I can make you into a congressman.
Good thinking, Zelda. Dobie could be a congressman.
No question about it. I'll handle your public relations, write your speeches, project your image.
Yeah.
Congressman Gillis, a man who takes no stand on anything at any time, but with courage.
If that's what it takes, just leave out the part about courage, and he's a congressman right now.
Can you doubt it? Dobie, look, say this. Say, no comment. Go on, just say, no comment.
Say it, boy. She'll be here all winter.
Yeah, no comment.
Did you hear him say that? Oh, there was such leadership in the way he said that. Dobie, you won't stop with the Congress. You'll go on and on to the Senate.
There's no stopping this boy.
Absolutely. You will be a senator, Dobie. Say this. Say, I deny the charges categorically. Go on, say that.
I deny the charges categorically.
Dobie, that was wonderful. There was such statesmanship in the way you said that. President.
President?
Absolutely. President Gillis.
The
It's in
White
the
House,
cards.
yeah,
Sure, you will be president, Dobie.
Look,
Way to the multitudes.
Zelda.
Did you see the eloquence in that gesture?
I saw it. It showed authority, love of fellow man, compassion, and a weak bicep.
Well, what do you say, Mr. President?
Mr. President, who?
Ah, and here comes my first lady.
Just a cotton-picking minute. If she's your first lady, who am I?
Ambassador to the Antarctic.
No, sir. I'm not putting you in the White House just so you can make her the first lady. I'm going to be the first lady.
Zelda,
Yes, my chief executive?
I do not choose to run.
Son, on behalf of the United States of America and the entire free world, thank you.
You're welcome. Come, Marianne.
Dobie.
Now what?
Look, Dobie, I know when I'm licked. I'll just fade out of the picture wishing you happiness and the best of luck.
You wish us happiness?
That's right.
You mean you quit?
That's right.
No more tricks?
That's right.
You're lying, aren't you?
That's right.
Figured. Here we are, my love. It says the average farm income is $3,000 a year, and the average city income is $6,000 a year. So it goes without saying we'll live in the city. Okay, so now we have $6,000.
Oh. Hello, you two.
Oh, hi, Zelda. Look,
I know you two
Zelda.
have been too wrapped up in each other to do your book reports, so I did them for you. Here. Naturally, you'll get A's.
Zelda.
Zelda, why?
You two have your whole lives ahead of you.
Zelda, so do you.
Do I? I don't know. Something inside of me is just giving up. When the old morale goes, well, you know. 2 tickets to the jazz concert tonight. Here.
Why, Zelda? Why are you doing this?
I just can't face people. The joyous crowd, their happy laughter. No, I'll just go back to my lonely room and sit in front of my lonely television set and eat a lonely bologna sandwich.
Zelda.
Zelda?
No, it's all right. You two go and enjoy yourselves. Don't worry about me. Bye, you two.
Dobie, I don't feel like going to the jazz concert tonight.
Me neither.
I feel kind of sick.
Yeah.
I'll see you later, Dobie. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, Marianne. Marianne, come back. Come back. Marianne, my angel, don't you see what's happening? That two-faced, double-tongued viper Zelda's doing it again. She's playing on our feelings. It's just another one of her shabby tricks.
You're right.
You know it, but you're still buying it?
You're right.
Oh, that's Zelda Gilroy. Oh, that's Zelda Gilroy. I've got to stop her from breaking up the romance between me and my only true love. But how? What I need is advice, fast and in quantity. I need a counselor, an advisor, somebody with wisdom, experience, understanding, someone who knows life. A Socrates, a Plato, a Jack Parr.
What's your problem, son?
It's hard to explain, Dad. It's so complicated.
Well, let's break it down to a simple mishmash, huh?
It's Zelda. I jilted her, but she won't stay jilted.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've come to the right place for advice, boy. Did I ever tell you about the girl I jilted?
No offense, dear, but it was the other way around. She jilted you, and then you met me.
Now, just a minute, Winnie. It's completely unimportant. It doesn't mean a thing. But let's get the record straight. I met you, and then I jilted her, remember?
I remember the night we met. It was on a little bridge in the moonlight, and you were about to jump off.
About to I was standing there looking at the water.
With your shoes off?
There's a law? What's wrong with my standing on a bridge with my shoes off?
In the snow?
My feet hurt.
You were cooling them off.
Yes.
I'm sorry, dear. It all comes back to me now. You jilted her.
Right. And then I married the sweetest, most wonderful little woman in all the world, and the onions are burning.
I'm not cooking onions, dear.
Winnie, maybe somebody snuck into your kitchen to cook onions?
Oh, I get it. Man talk.
Now, where were we? Oh, yes. How did I keep this jilted girl jilted?
Yeah, Zelda hangs on like a summer cold. That's why I've got to know exactly what you said to get rid of the girl you jilted.
And I'm going to tell you exactly what I said. You see, I took the thoughtful, philosophic approach.
Yeah.
And I said, honey, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Hello, Gillis's Grocery. Oh, Zelda. Honey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. What? Any cookie. No, Zelda. Zelda, look, it's just a figure of... No, I don't want to rule Asia. Goodbye. See what happens? I jilled her and she unjilts.
I don't want to pry, son, but just why do you want to jilt Zelda?
Because I finally found the girl with whom I want to share my life.
Share your life, huh? The last one shared about 45 minutes of it.
Dad, please, I have a problem.
You sure have, son, and I'm going to help you solve it.
Oh, great.
Now, hear me good, son. The way I see it is this. You got to take the bull by the horns.
Direct action, huh?
But Look before you leap.
Oh, bide my time, I see.
On the other hand, he who hesitates is lost.
Direct action, huh?
But you go charging in there blindly and you foul up everything.
Ah, take it easy. Bide my time.
In the world today, son, the race is to the swift.
Direct action. That's it.
But remember the tortoise and the hare.
Take it easy. Bide my time.
On the other hand, don't let the world pass you by.
Direct action.
Everything comes to him who waits.
Dad?
Yes, son.
How can I thank you enough for all this wonderful advice?
Oh, forget it, boy. After all, I can't leave you wealth or vast domains. All I can bequeath to you is a heritage of culture, richness of the mind. And these things are more valuable than gold.
You're all heart, sir.
I just hope our little talk has left you with something.
Oh, it has, Dad. I learned that when you have a problem, figure it out yourself.
Good thinking, son. Good thinking.
Maynard, I got no time for small talk.
Whoa, what?
Maynard, have Dobie and Mary Ann been in yet?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Like positive. They won't be out here till I pay for my soda.
What's that got to do with Dobie?
Who also done me a quarter?
You got a point. Now look, Maynard, when Dobie comes in with Mary Ann, I want you to make sure they sit at this table.
Oh, no. Dobe's my good buddy, and I ain't having nothing to do with none of your low-down, sneaky schemes.
Maynard.
Look, give me one good reason why I should help you, a girl.
All right, Maynard. Here's a quarter.
Give me another good reason why I should help you, a girl.
I will give you the best reason in the whole world, Maynard. You will help me because I am brighter and sharper and shrewder than you'll ever be. And so naturally, you will do exactly as I order you.
Yeah, I gotta go along with that.
That's better. And in the future, watch the back talk.
Yes, Your Honor. Hey, Zeld, you know, you don't look like too good.
Maynard, go.
I mean, you look like you're crestfallen. And man, when you're crestfalls, you're like in big trouble.
Maynard, peel off.
Hey, I know how to cheer you up. I'll tell you a funny story.
Maynard,
hey,
don't...
Hey, did you hear the one about the two cats that rocking chair? Ooh, it's the funniest story I ever heard. How's it go again?
Thanks, Maynard. I'm all cheered up now.
Yeah, and once on a very young show, there was a story about this tragic romance of the heart this woman had, see? And she threw herself into noble work and became a missionary and found true happiness in a leper colony.
Maynard, if I get any more cheerful, I'll hit you over the head with this table.
I know I'm not one.
Good.
Hey, Zeld, you wouldn't reconsider about that uranium, would you?
Tell you what, Maynard. Meet me in front of the science building in 25 years.
What time? Hey, they're coming.
Okay, Maynard, now just make sure they sit at that table.
All right, leave it to me. Don't you worry. It's in the bag. Yeah. Like hi, girl, like hi. Don't look, I saved a special table for you right
I
here.
don't like that table.
Neither do I. We'll sit over here.
Oh, but this table's much better, and it's right next to the window in case of parades, you know.
Never mind. We'll take this one. Well, what would you like, Mary Ann, my love?
I'll have a banana split with 2 scoops.
Have 3 scoops. Eat, drink, and be...
Dobie, it's no use. I can't take it any longer. I'm haunted by Zelda's sad face. I can't sleep. There's no escape. I'm going crazy.
Listen to me, Mary Ann. There's only one way to get Zelda off your mind.
How?
Forget her.
It's no use, Dobie. I can't be happy when I know we've made Zelda miserable.
Try.
No, I can't. Dobie, you've got to do something.
Well, what can I do?
I want to see Zelda smiling, happy and gay, the way she used to be.
There's only one thing that'll make her smiling, happy, and gay. Me.
I hate to say it, Dobie, but cheer her up or you and I are through.
Through?
Through.
Okay. I'll think of something tomorrow morning.
Now, Dobie, I can't stand it another minute.
Now?
Now. Go!
Hi, Dobie. How are things among the living?
Cut that out. Zelda, you say you love me.
I do, Poopsie, I do, with all my great heaving heart.
I don't believe you.
You can't be serious. You know I love you.
Prove it.
How?
By helping me hang on to Mary Ann.
You gotta be kidding.
See, I knew you didn't love me.
But Dobie...
But nothing. Love is when you care for the other person's happiness more than your own. And if you cared for my happiness, really cared,
I do.
really loved me,
I do.
you'd help me hang on to Mary Ann.
Okay, Dobie, what do you want me to do?
Well, for openers, let's see you smile.
Smile?
Smile, yeah. A big smile. Bigger. A really, really big, happy smile.
I'm tearing my face.
Now laugh. No, louder. Big, That's it. Gaiety, fun. Jack it up to the time. Yeah. Well, you're a grand sport, and I thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Not you, man.
No, don't do it.
parents can't do this to Zelda. She'll always be between us.
That's right.
So goodbye. Forever.
Yeah, Marianne.
Hey, did you two hear about the two cats in the rocket?
Hey, let her go, Dobie. She's fickle. I'm the one for you. You'll never get away.
She's right, Doug. You're stuck with her.
You and me, Zelda, forever?
For the rest of our lives, Poopsie, and then some.
I guess there's no sense fighting it.
It's fate. Dobie and Zelda. Zelda and Dobie. Immutable fate.
You and me, no escape.
None. It is written.
Goodbye, Zelda.
Dobe, speak to me. Say something, even if it's mean and rotten.
Better leave him alone, Maynard. He's gonna be pretty sick for a while. He just took a great big gulp of vanilla extract.
Zelda! Zelda, I've poisoned with vanilla extract and you're wrinkled. Maynard, I've got to think of a way to get Zelda off my back.
Don't look at me. Getting rid of old Zeld's gonna take some mean and rotten trick. I ain't that kind of cat.
I know.
I'm sweet and tender and gentle.
True.
And peaceable and mild and fun-loving.
True.
So first we get 5 bags of cement.
Cement?
Yeah. We mix it up all nice and wet, and we call the Zeld and we say, "Hey, Zeld, how'd you like to see some nice wet cement?"
Maynard.
And when she shows up, we give her a little nudge, and then she plops.
Maynard.
And then we get the whole block, put it in a packing crate, nail it up, and off to the river we zoom.
Halt! How are you gonna get this block of cement to the river?
We carry it.
You two punies gonna carry that great big block of cement to the river?
Too heavy, huh?
Yep.
Got any other ideas?
Nope.
So I'm stuck with you.
Yep.
Forever.
Yep.
Got any poison left? Anglo-Saxon judiciary system?
No, I'm going to wait and catch it when the movie comes out.
It's a textbook for this legal principles course I'm taking from Professor Brinkerhoff. Pretty wild, too. He says that the law protects everybody, no matter how tacky, lowly, shabby, worthless.
You rang?
All right, Maynard, you're early.
And I've been earlier, except I had a slight delay.
I know, you slipped and fell down on the streetcar tracks at 9th and Main.
You're wrong, though.
Now, Maynard, don't be silly. You know that every morning you slip on the streetcar tracks at 9th and Main. People set their watches by you.
Not this morning, though.
You slipped on the streetcar tracks at 8th and Main?
I didn't slip on the streetcar tracks at all.
Maynard, I'm proud of you.
I fell down a manhole.
Fell down a manhole? Sue him, Maynard. Sue him.
Now, Dad.
No, nothing. Weren't we just talking about that legal professor of yours over at the college, and he was saying that, what's his name?
Yeah, Brinkerhoff.
Yeah, well, he was saying that the law is the law for everybody, even 10-thumb knuckleheads like Maynard here, no offense.
No offense, but who am I going to sue?
The city.
Oh, you're joshing, ain't you, Mr. G? I love this city. I love its streets and alleys, its hills and valleys, its parks and sewers. It's my city.
Now, hear me and hear me, good boy. If you're ever going to amount to anything, you have to think big. Never sue for anything less than $1 million. Take Fesser.
Over in River Street?
That's the guy. Got his foot caught in the door of a bus, sued the company for $1 million.
Like, wow, and he got $1 million, huh?
Well, not exactly. As it turned out, he had to give the bus company $16 for busting their door, but he got a miserable lawyer. Oh, if he'd have had a good lawyer, he'd have gotten a fortune.
Like, wow, $1 million. Ooh, man, I'm like loaded.
Diamond Jim.
You rang?
Before you start spending the money, you've got to prove that falling down the manhole was the city's fault.
Sure it was. They dug it right in front of where I was walking, didn't they?
Yes, Maynard. Was there any kind of warning sign in front of it?
Just a little bitty one, and all it said was no trapping. I guess it must be the beaver season or something.
No trapping.
Yeah, and some dumbbell couldn't even spell. He put a lot of S's right in the middle.
Yeah, Maynard, that was no trespassing, and you just lost your case.
I didn't want to take any money from this dear city anyhow.
No.
I love this city.
Sure, Maynard. Come on. I'll grab my books.
I
We'll
want
go
to
to
get some
school.
gum.
Go.
Son, is this the book you were looking for?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Dad. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Yeah, neither do I, but just thinking about it's made my whole day.
Like, help! Ow! It's got me!
What's he got me?
I put my penny in the machine and nothing came out, so I thought, let's go, you rat.
All right, Maynard, stop clowning around and take your hand out of there.
I tried to, but it's like stuck.
Stuck? It is not. It's impossible.
Careful,
it's
Dad.
ridiculous. It's stuck. Here, come here. Now, get a hold of him.
Could we, leave it like it is, please? I mean, please, don't.
When I tell you to pull.
Oh, look, Mr. Jack, I'll be the first kid in my block with a glass box and go.
Okay, don't.
You all right, Maynard? Yeah, I'm fine, Mr. G. There is one thing, and I almost hate to mention it.
Well, speak up, boy. Speak up.
I'm taking your advice.
What do you mean?
I'm suing you for $1 million.
Maynard sue my dad? Sweet, lovable, warm-hearted Maynard? That's too ridiculous to even think about. Oh, I know he said he was going to, but that wasn't Maynard. That was the pain speaking. I knew that when he came to his senses, he'd change his mind about suing for $1 million.
I've come to my senses and changed my mind about suing you for $1 million.
I knew it.
I'm going to sue for $2 million.
$2 million for what?
Well, I wouldn't want to make an issue of it, but I think my hand's on backwards.
Your head is on backwards. Wrong with that is just a simple little sprain. Maynard!
Dad, let me help you. Maynard.
Present.
Maynard, I'm ashamed of you talking about suing Dad. Why, you're one of the family. Remember when we were little bitty kids? It was me for you and you for me.
And T for two and two for T.
Maynard, listen, you were practically brought up in this house. You were like one of the family. Why, Dad was like a second father to you.
Like true.
That's right.
Second daddy.
Never mind. Better off to be sued.
Maynard, don't you remember we shared everything? Our joys, our sorrows.
Our measles, our mumps. Ah, Dobe, I've been like a blind fool. Don't make that a dirty rat and I hate myself. Mr. G, can you ever forgive me?
No lawsuits?
Against my own second daddy?
Maynard, cut that out from me.
All I want to do is be a member of the family again and T for two and like that.
A member of the family. You drive a hard bargain, boy.
Dad.
But never mind, I was just kidding. Okay, Maynard, you're forgiven.
Oh, you're like a real human being, Mr. G.
Well, I guess you're not such a bad kid yourself.
Gee, you're pretty misty.
We better start for school before we all get too misty to travel. Professor Brinkerhoff hates it when we're late.
Yeah, well, so long.
Yeah, see you later, Dad.
Second daddy!
An old fogey, that's what you think I am. You probably think the law courts are composed of a lot of old fogies blowing dust off a lot of musty books. But you're wrong. The law courts are battlefields for justice, and a good lawyer is a good fighter. He's in there punching all the time, fighting for the rights of the underdog, the poor, the meek, and the miserable.
You rang?
Now, when I was practicing law, there was nothing in the world that I liked better than a good old-fashioned, knock-down, drag-out damage suit.
Hey, Dobe, look at the swinging bandage I got over at the infirmary.
Not that I'm... Bandage? Infirmary? Accident? Who's hurt?
Like me, Professor, Your Honor, sir. I caught my hand in a chewing gum machine.
What's that? You caught your hand in a gum machine?
It was nothing, Professor. Nothing at all.
What do you mean, nothing? When does your case come up?
You don't understand.
You're out of order, Mr. Gillis. Will you let the witness answer? You are suing, aren't you?
No, sir. I couldn't be such a dirty rat.
What's that?
I mean, I'm practically one of the family, you know, T for two and two for tea.
Two for tea?
You would have had to be there.
Yeah, what Maynard's trying to say, sir, is that he had this accident at my father's store.
I understand the law, sir. And this sounds to me like collusion. Malfeasance. Nonfeasance. Intimidation. What do you think of that?
I plead guilty and throw myself on the mercy of the court. Don't send me to prison, Mike. Please, please.
Ridiculous, Mr. Krebs. You're the injured party.
I am?
Why, you suffered bodily injury, didn't you?
Yeah, not only that, I hurt my hand, too.
And to say nothing of the nervous shock?
And to say nothing, my hand's like I'm backwards.
Maynard.
There's very little demand for backward-handed bongo players.
Is that your vocation?
No, sir. I don't get my vocation till June.
Bongo playing? Is that your work?
Work?
Maynard.
What I'm trying to point out, Mr. Krebs, is that you're sitting on a gold mine.
A gold mine?
Maynard, it's a big race.
I seem to recall another case. It was Witherspoon versus the amalgamated gumdrop machine. The same thing. A man got his hand caught in a gumdrop machine. The damages, 100,000.
100,000 gumdrops?
Will you wait after? Class is dismissed.
Did you hear that, Dope? A gold mine. I can get a new set of bongos and a bicycle with a two-tone
Great,
horn.
Maynard. You can ride it out to the poorhouse and blow it when you come visiting the Gillis family.
Poorhouse? I wouldn't let you go there.
Maynard, you're sending us there.
In my opinion, Mr. Krebs, you have an ironclad case. My suggestion to you is to sue them. Fight, boy. Fight.
No, sir, Professor, Your Honor, sir. I couldn't do that to Mr. Gillis.
You don't think Mr. Gillis has to pay those damages, do you?
Well, I'm a little short myself, sir.
Of course not. The insurance company pays the damages. Your father is insured, isn't he?
Hey, wait a minute. Sure he is.
Then your problems are over.
Like, wait a minute. You want me to sue the insurance company? I can't do that. I love the insurance company. They got that nice new building downtown and a bench outside where I sit and wait for the bus, and they got a little pool full of goldfish. Oh, they're cute little goldfish, and they're all wiggling and gurgling.
Mr. Krebs, you won't have to sue. In the first place, I think the insurance company will pay your claim without argument. Remember, insurance companies are only too happy to pay all just claims promptly and cheerfully.
They're happy?
Of course.
Well, okay then, because that's what I want them to be, is happy, yeah. Well, I love that insurance company.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the goldfish? They're all wiggling and gurgling.
Yes.
And they're so big. Like a black
You've done that.
Maynard, where you been? We're due at the insurance.
I had to stop off the drugstore to get these, like, supplies. Will you help me tie this up, please?
I would not. Do you know what that is? Fraud.
No, it isn't. It's just a sneaky trick to get more money out of that insurance company. Boy, we're really going to gouge him, huh? Really sock it to him, huh, Dope?
We are not. We're going up there and present an honest case and get an honest settlement, like honest gentlemen.
Well, would it be okay when we're up there, I give like an honest groan once in a while?
Well, I don't know. I suppose it'd be all right as long as it's honest and manly and not too loud.
That's just what it'll be, Dope. Honest and manly, and you'll barely hear it. Like John Wayne when he's got an arrow in his shoulder. He'd rather die than have Chill Wills think he's chicken.
Well, as long as it doesn't sound phony. Let's hear it.
Oh!
No good, Maynard. If you can't do any better than that, forget it.
I got a lot more, Dope. I got a lot more. Listen. Ow. Ooh. When I get to one you like, stop me. Ow.
Maynard, that's it. That's just right. Maynard, that's it. That's it. You can stop now. Maynard, what's the matter with you?
You're standing on my foot.
Excuse me, Maynard. Come on.
Now, where was I, Miss Jones?
Dear Mr. Johnson, it is people like you who are driving the insurance companies out of business. 3 accidents in the last year is a disgraceful record.
Even though you are a lion tamer. We are rejecting your latest claim on the grounds that you're a clumsy oaf, a careless nitwit, and an accident-prone chowderhead. Sign that warmest regard.
Yes. Oh, there's Mr. Krebs due in a few minutes.
Oh, yes, well, that's the Gillis claim. That sounds legitimate, thank goodness. You get them started, I'll be right back.
Good afternoon. My name's Gillis, and this is Mr. Krebs. We're in a big hurry, and Mr. Krebs... Hello.
I'll be right with you.
What's the rush, my dear? As a matter of fact, I'm afraid I'm going to have to check your leave papers. And don't tell me you're not on furlough from heaven. I know an angel when I see one.
Ooh. Oh.
Not now, Maynard. There's a brave fella. Salt of the earth, but a complainer. Now, where was I?
No place, Mr. Gillis. Excuse me, I have to get Mr. Krebs' accident record.
Oh, just a moment. If you want to get a record of his accidents, I'm the one you want to talk to. Of course, it may take days, even weeks, perhaps months.
Mr. Krebs has had a lot of accidents?
A lot of accidents.
Yeah, have I had a lot of accidents?
He's had so many accidents, they get mixed up in his mind.
You should excuse the expression.
Fortunately, due to a steel trap memory, I can help you. Accident by accident.
All right, Miss Jones.
I was just explaining to this lovely young lady.
Yes, I heard. With a line like that, you should have been able to land a whale. I'm Waysack, chief attorney for the insurance company.
How do you do?
Yeah. Well, take notes, Miss Jones. I think we can dispose of this case very quickly.
Like crazy, because I got a sale on bongo drums and bicycles with two-tone horns, and if I could...
Oh, I see, Mr. Krebs. Well, I'm interested in hearing your history of accidents.
You're, like, interested in accidents?
Yes, accidents are my business. Like the sculptor Thrills at Rodin's The Thinker, the painter at the Mona Lisa, I am moved by the sprained ankle, the mashed thumb.
I don't even count little bitty ones like that.
What do you count?
Oh, like when I slip on the streetcar tracks.
Oh, you slip on streetcar tracks, do you?
Yeah, or I'll fall down manholes or get my beard caught in the pressure cooker.
Beard caught in the pressure cooker?
Yeah.
Maynard, all Mr. Waysack wants to do is hear about your accident so he can give you the money.
Oh, yeah, the money. I like forgot.
Ooh. You see, Mr. Waysack, Maynard, enough. The pain.
Came on rather suddenly, didn't it?
Well, it comes and goes like alternating current.
Yeah, but it's something that $5 million wouldn't cure.
Oh, you'd settle for $5 million, would you?
Well, I ain't saying yes and I ain't saying no.
Well, what are you saying?
I ain't saying.
You know what I'm saying, Mr. Krebs? Like alternating current, you've come, and like alternating current, you go. Both of you.
Go.
Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir.
But we haven't got the money.
Exactly. Sayonara.
You mean no $5 million?
No 5 cents. We're fighting this claim on the grounds that you're accident prone.
You'll hear from our attorneys about this.
Not only that, we might even sue.
We might even...
Do me a favor, will you? Take some heartfelt advice and don't. You seem like a nice, if unfortunate, young man. Our attorneys will clobber you. They'll cut you to pieces.
Oh, yeah? Well, we'll see you in court.
And that goes like double.
Maynard.
No, it's no use, Dope. Ever since this thing started, I can't sleep. I'm having nightmares. I'm nervous. I'm jumpy. Look out! Look out! A bomb! A bomb!
Maynard! Maynard, it was just a baseball.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to intrude.
You're not intruding. You're not intruding.
Ugliest girl I ever saw.
Fresh kid. Do you mind? Do you mind, please? Excuse us. You see what I mean, Maynard? You're all nervous about nothing. The insurance company doesn't have anything personal against you.
Yeah, then how come they want to get me to stand and clobber me? Them sharp lawyers will tear me to pieces.
So we'll get a sharp lawyer, too.
But their lawyers are like the sharpest. All they gotta do is hear the word accident.
Accident? Where's the accident? 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 Who's hurt? Where's the... Oh, it's you. How'd you come up with the insurance company?
We did, and they're fighting it and... Hey, wait a minute. Hey, how about you handling the case?
Oh, no. It's been 20 years since I practiced law. I'm a teacher now. On what basis are they refusing payment?
They said I was an accidental prune.
Maynard, that's accident prone.
Their defense is accident prone?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll take the case. We're as good as in. They're basing their defense on a lot of mumbo-jumbo.
Maynard, we're in. They'll never clobber you with Professor Brinkerhoff handling the case.
Yeah, I can hear that two-tone bicycle horn now.
Why, we can't lose. All we have to do is be sure he makes a good presentation in the courtroom. All he has to do is look bright and sharp and alert and intelligent, and we're dead. All we have to do now is to depend on the fact that there's no such thing as accident prone.
I'll buy that.
What?
There's no such thing as accident prone.
I'll buy that. There's no such thing.
Accident prone?
Exactly. That's why we're taking this case to court.
Court for what?
We take all these simple nuisance cases to court.
Well, I'd be the first one to agree that Maynard's pretty simple and he's also a nuisance, but why make a federal case out of it?
Because it's my duty as an employee and a loyal American to fight these unwarranted claims.
I don't care. He is a sweet, lovable, warm-hearted kid. So he got his hand caught in the gum machine. How much is it going to cost you for a little sprain?
How much? I'll tell you how much it's going to cost. Let me see now here. Sprain, elbow, ankle, shoulder. Oh, here we are. Sprained wrist.
All right, how much?
Oh, running with a lot of money, Gillis.
No, cheapskate.
Oh, this Krebs is a clumsy oaf, and he doesn't deserve a cent. Money doesn't grow on trees, you know.
He is a sweet, lovable, warm-hearted kid, and he ought to get a chunk of dough.
Well, why don't you give it to him, then?
Me? Money don't grow on trees.
You were just saying that we were a bunch of cheapskates.
Now, listen, Buster. How much would it cost me to give you a punch right in the nose?
Just a minute. Pinch, punch. Oh, here we are, punch in the nose. Were you planning to blacken both eyes?
What's that got to do with it?
We're running a special. I'll see you in court tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
You're darn tootin' you will, because I intend to be there and see that Maynard gets everything that's coming to him.
Well, the trial started at 9 sharp, and by 9:01, things weren't looking too red-hot for Maynard.
Now, as I understand it, you're the local druggist, Mr. Fortescue.
I was. Retired last week.
Retired on what?
On the money I made selling bandages and iodine to Maynard G. Krebs there. More accidents than any kid I ever saw.
That was bad enough, but it got worse when they called in this representative from the Red Cross.
Yes, we on the Executive Council of the Red Cross have long been aware of the existence of Maynard G. Krebs. In fact, and I don't think I'm speaking prematurely, we are seriously considering declaring him a permanent disaster area.
And then to make it worse, they called on our old high school physical education teacher. That really hurt.
Coach, we'd like to find out something about the physical coordination of Maynard G. Krebs.
Coordination?
What I want to know is, how did Maynard make out on the athletic field?
Well, that's kind of hard to say, because in 4 years, Maynard never got as far as the athletic field. He always managed to slip and fall down in the locker room.
Your Honor, it seems quite clear that Maynard G. Krebs is not entitled to any damages on the grounds that he is obviously guilty of gross contributory negligence. He is absolutely uncoordinated and completely accident-prone. He slips, falls, trips, and breaks things constantly. We rest our case.
I'm sorry about all this hullabaloo, Maynard. If I had my way, they'd just pay you off and forget the whole thing. You're all heart, Mr. G. Well, you're a pretty sweet, lovable, warm-hearted kid yourself, and I'm not going to sit here while they clobber you.
Well, where are you going to sit while they clobber me? I could, like, sit here because I got to go up there and be a witness.
Maynard, the word is witness, but you may be right. Now, listen, this is the way we're going to handle it. While you're up there telling your story, I'm going to be down here agreeing.
But you're supposed to be on the insurance company's side.
That's just it. I'm supposed to be on the insurance company's side, but when that judge hears me agreeing with everything you say, he's got to know you're on the up and up and give you every penny that's coming to you.
You're like a real human being, Mr. G.
May it please the court. The first witness I would like to call is the plaintiff, Mr. Maynard G. Krebs. Will you take the stand?
Witness is sworn. You may proceed.
Now, Your Honor, I intend to prove that everything my friend, the learned counselor, has said is a lot of hogwash. I will prove that Maynard G. Krebs, the plaintiff, is utterly blameless in this matter and should be awarded the full amount of damages. Now, Mr. Krebs, will you describe what happened on the morning in question?
I went into Mr. Gillis's grocery store and put a penny in the gum machine.
That's right. That's just what he did.
And what was the condition of the gum machine?
It was like busted.
That's right. It was busted. Couldn't get the gum out.
And will you describe the condition of Mr. Gillis's grocery store?
No offense, but it's like a death trap.
That's right. It's just like a... What did he say?
Would you care to elaborate on that statement?
I mean, it's like a sloppy mess, and things are always like falling down on people, and the floors are scrounged, and plaster's like flaking off the wall.
Now, just a darn minute.
Order in the court.
Just a darn doggone minute, Maynard.
Order.
Man, every time a customer goes in there, he's like taking his life in his hands. It's like a real mess.
Your Honor, are you going to let this...
Order in the court. Mr. Gillis, I warn you. Go ahead.
Now, when you placed your hand in the gum machine, did Mr. Gillis at any time inform you or warned you that this was dangerous?
No, he just...
Warn him? How did I know what he was up to? He's practically nothing but a shoplifter around the place anyway.
Mr. Gillis!
All he does is bum food and break things, and what right has he got to sue for a lot of money? He just runs around in an old dirty T-shirt and plays the bongo.
That's exactly my point, Your Honor. When the only pleasure that a pathetic creature like the plaintiff can look forward to in life is playing the bongo. And when he's injured, what's left? Therefore, I urge that the court award him substantial damages. We rest our case.
Very well.
statement?
Your Honor, in light of the evidence presented, it seems quite obvious that Maynard G. Krebs was solely and principally responsible for his own injury. It's ridiculous to assert that an innocent, harmless, simple little mechanism like this gum machine could hurt anybody except a clumsy, awkward bungler.
I quite agree, Mr. Wazak. Help! Mr. Wazak. Order in the court! Order in the court! Order! Very well. Now, in view of the testimony, I find for the plaintiff, Maynard G. Krebs. Order! Now then, as to the amount of damages. It is my opinion that in view of the amount of income lost, in consideration of the anxiety and anguish, both mental and physical, plus the value of Mr. Krebs's time, that the amount of damages shall be exactly $1.65.
Oh, I'm rich like 30 your judgeship. You're just like a third daddy.
Maynard has something he wants to say to you.
Oh, the ingrate returns, huh? Aren't you afraid to walk in here, Maynard? Kind of taking your life in your hands, ain't you? Ain't you afraid this groundsy old floor will fall right out from underneath you, the ceiling will flake off? And
Dad, Maynard's sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what came over me. I guess it was modest greed. Can you ever, forgive me, Mr. G?
Well, I guess it was no great harm done, but...
No hard feelings?
Likewise. Incidentally, I've got the gum machine fixed now so that even you can operate it. Be my guest.
Can I have a penny?
Gee, thanks, Dad. It means a lot to me that Maynard's a member of the family again.
Well, a very distant member, but...
Yeah.
Mr. G, like help? Oh, no, Mr. G. No, Mr. G, no. Mr. G!
You're in a classroom.
So what? I love you in a classroom. I love you anywhere. I love you indoors, outdoors, upstairs, downstairs, backwards, forwards. I love you.
Zelda.
How come?
How come what?
How come you love him? He don't love you.
He will. I'll get him yet.
So what do you have when you get him? I mean, he's kind of puny, ain't too bright, and he'll be bald before he's 30.
Thanks a lot.
Like what?
Don't you understand, Maynard? That's exactly why I love him. I mean, he's weak and bewildered and helpless. He needs me to guide his faltering feet.
Zelda, please, won't you get off my back?
Never, Poopsie. I'm going to straighten you out, and we'll be married and live in a split-level house with a big green lawn and rhododendron bushes, and we'll have 3 little children, 2 boys and a girl.
And I shall send each of them a silver spoon for his christening. But right now, I should like to begin the class, provided, of course, you have no objections.
I do. I got, lots of objections.
Yes, Mr. Krebs, I'm sure you do. Let us press on. Arnold, prepare the mice. All right, here, my young barbarians, is a maze. Please gather around. At that end of the maze is a little box of cheese. And right here, I'm going to have Arnold put one of the mice. Well, this is BF 436. BF for bright female. See how well she runs. Without pauses, without errors. This bright little creature makes her way right to the cheese. Very fine, my little beauty. Very intelligent. Now here we have another white mouse. But this, you might say, is a mouse of a different color. Now this one is DM108. See how he hesitates, how he fumbles, retraces his steps. Now you know why we call him DM for dull male. Now, class, what does this experiment prove?
That mice like cheese.
Brilliant. Oh, Mr. Gillis.
It proves some mice are dumber than others. But why?
Now, that is the question. Why? And the answer is heredity. You see, one mouse has been bred for intelligence, the other one for stupidity. We've controlled these laboratory animals for generations through selective mating.
What he said.
You mean for one mouse you picked a bright mother and father, and for the other one you picked a dumb mother and father?
No, we went further back than that. We picked their grandparents as well as their great-grandparents, and you can see the results. It works the same with any other species, not only mice.
Yes, it works particularly well on people. For example, in the Osborne family, 4 generations, we have been picking our ancestors very, very carefully. Well, just look at me.
Yeah, I think somebody goofed.
Hush up, you low-born person.
Well, that's why dumb dogs have dumb pups, and dumb cats have dumb kittens, and dumb parents have dumb children. It's called the heredity factor. Well, what's the matter, Mr. Gillis? I've never seen you looking like that before.
I just got a brilliant idea.
No wonder I've never seen you looking like that before.
I never thought this day had come. Never. For years, I've been trying to get Zelda off my back. I tried everything I knew, but what chance did I have? I mean, Zelda's all brain, and me, well, let's face it. I'm charming, lovable, clean-cut, winsome, loyal, devoted, true. But smart? Smart I've never been. Until now. This time, I'm a cinched-out widder. A cinched-out foxer to out-clever her, to dazzle her with my footwork. Boy, will I dazzle her. Maynard, old friend, this is a glorious day, an historic day.
Don't tell me. Let me guess. Let's see. It's not the 4th of July, because that's in August. It's not Columbus Day, because that's in 1492. And it's not Lincoln's birthday, because that's on Washington's birthday.
I give up. Today's the day that I finally, with my own head, figured out a way to get Zelda off my back. Truly and completely off my back, now and forever.
You're Josh.
You sure are, Poopsie. I don't know what ridiculous scheme your puny little mind has come up with this time, Dobie, but you might as well forget it. You'll never get rid of me, because whatever you think of, I'll always think of something better.
Oh, I know, Zelda, I know.
Because I have a mind like Einstein, Madame Curie, and Mort Saul all rolled into one. And you, on the other hand...
am slow, dull, dim, thick, and foolish.
You forgot stupid.
Yeah.
True. So why don't you spare yourself, Dobie, and come to Zelda, who will always love and cherish you and protect you from the cruel world.
Zelda, I'd like nothing better. I mean, life would be so simple with a genius like you taking care of a dope like me. But, Zelda, we just can't do it.
You about to spring the trap, Dobe?
In a minute.
Well, spring it and let's get it over with. I'd like to measure you for a new sweater.
Zelda, my dear.
Hey, Zelda, I really think he's got something this time.
Pish-posh. Yes, Dobie, my beloved numbskull.
Oh, I am a numbskull. That's exactly what I am, a numbskull. And you've got a mind like a computer.
Well, that was established back in kindergarten. Now let's get on with your scheme.
I'm rooting for you, Dobe.
Yeah, thank you. Zelda, my dear, you have, I understand, a plan for me.
You know it, Buster. We will be married and live in a split level house with a big green lawn and rhododendron bushes, and we'll have 3 little children, 2 boys and a girl.
Aha.
Oh, now you're going to spring the trap, huh, Dobe?
Right now.
Spring already.
Zelda, do you remember what the professor said when he was doing that experiment yesterday with the white mice? All that stuff about heredity. Dumb dogs have dumb pups, and dumb cats have dumb kittens, and dumb people have dumb children.
But I'm not dumb.
But I am. Zelda, how can you do such a rotten thing to your children, giving them my dumb brain?
But they'll be inheriting my brain, too.
Maybe. It's a 50-50 chance. But how can you risk it, Zelda? How can you gamble with your children's minds? No, Zelda, you've got to give me up for the sake of your children. You've got to let me go.
But, Dobie, I love you.
You're not going to burden those poor little innocent babies with my dumb old mind. You're going to find a mate just as intelligent as yourself.
Dobie, you've done it. You've outsmarted me.
Europa!
Maynard, that's Eureka. Come, Zelda.
Where?
To start our search for an intelligent mate. A man with a brain so large, so active, so dynamic that he'll be a worthy father of your children. And of all the guys on campus, it's obvious that the smartest, the sharpest, the wisest, the deepest, the quickest, the brightest can only be...
Surely you jest, Gillis, baby.
But Chatsworth, you haven't thought it through. Remember, you're an aristocrat, a thoroughbred, an intellectual.
A rat.
Maynard.
Oh, Dobie, just give it up. Chatsworth doesn't want me.
No offense, Zelda, chickie, but true. You no doubt have many fine
You
qualities.
bet she has many fine qualities. Brain power, intellect, cunning, a mind to match your own. Chatsworth, when you've got a thoroughbred racehorse, you look for another thoroughbred. You don't go looking for some nag that's pulling a milk wagon.
Rochelle is scarcely a nag that pulls a milk wagon, are you, ma chère?
Scarcely.
All right, so she's a blue blood. But she's awful dumb.
I'll tell you how dumb she is. She was copying my test paper the other day.
Dobie, it is well known that you have been trying to foist Zelda off on someone for years. And I do wish you luck in this worthy pursuit. But me, Dobie-doo? No, Dobie-doo. Come, Rochelle, my little muskrat. Let's go for a spin in my madly expensive handmade sports car.
Well, Dobie, I guess we're skunked. Let's go look for the second best IQ.
No, sir. There'll be no second best for you. Only the top is good enough for my Zelda.
Dobie, I love you.
You're all heart, girl, except for your brain.
The only trouble is, how are we going to get Chatsworth Osborne, Jr.?
Dobie, if you'll forgive me, this is a big problem which requires a big mind. Now, you've taken me about as far as you can with your limited mental equipment, and I'm very grateful to you. But from here on, I'm taking over. I mean, well, you don't send a boy to do a man's job.
Hey, cool. You're going to put that rotten, conniving brain of yours to work, huh, Zell?
You bet.
It's not going to be easy. Chatsworth is a tough guy to move, even for you.
True. But there is one power in the world that can move Chatsworth Osborne, Jr. One power.
Preposterous.
But, Mrs. Osborne, you haven't even thought it through.
There is nothing to think about. Chatsworth is an aristocrat and you are a commoner.
Oh, me too. I'm more commoner than anybody.
That's exactly the point, Mrs. Osborne. You gotta think of the Osborne line. Look at him. The end of the line.
Oh, really, Mumsy? This is too outre.
Oh, nurse.
Now, take me on the other hand. I'm smart.
She's been valedictorian ever since kindergarten.
And I'm strong.
You want to hit her in the stomach?
And I'm healthy.
Show her your teeth, Zelda.
Yeah, once at a carnival, I saw her bite clean through a 2x4.
I'm a hard worker. I spend practically no money, and my digestion is perfect.
Also, her appendix is out.
Child, I am, of course, very impressed by your manifold assets, but think of the difference in our social standing.
You think of the difference, Mrs. Osborne. Are you forgetting what happened to the royal families in Europe in the olden days? They didn't marry any commoners, and their blood kept getting thinner and thinner until finally the families just disappeared. Look what happened to the Bourbons.
They all got drunk.
Look what happened to the Habsburgs, the Tudors, the Stuarts. Where are they now? Are you going to let the Osborne line just dwindle away like that?
No, by thunder, I am not.
Mumsy, whatever are you thinking of? Rochelle and I have an understanding.
Oh, golly whiskers, Mrs. Osborne.
Out of here, you puny girl. Take your flimsy, aristocratic bones out of here. Bigger.
Mumsy!
Oh, Chatsworth, don't ever sneak up on me like that without warning.
Mumsy, I will not be treated like a piece of chattel.
You will do exactly as your mother, who loves you, commands. I haven't many more years left. Not more than 40 or 50, perhaps. But before I go, I want to see this Osborne house full of sturdy young little Osbornes.
Yay, Mrs. O. You'll never regret this, Mrs. Osborne.
I certainly will not. You know, I like this little girl, peasant though she may be. I like the intelligence shining in those beady little eyes. I like that tiny, scheming little brow and that stubborn, buttoned little chin. Give me grandsons. Do you hear me, girl? Give me lots of grandsons. I want sturdy, ruthless, unprincipled, nasty little boys to carry on the Osborne tradition.
Mumsy, I won't do it. I shall hold my breath until I die.
You are looking at Dobie Gillis, free man. For the first time in my whole life, Zelda's off my back. Actually, honestly, off my back. Boy, what a glorious feeling. Of course, I'm not entirely happy about what I did to Zelda. Without me, she's a cinch to turn into a poor, miserable, unhappy creature.
Chancellor, you're so darling.
Yes, I am rather, aren't
I
I?
didn't think I'd announce it on you and I.
Well, I too, my little otter, was quite out of sorts at the beginning. But now that I've come to know you, mwah, quelle joie.
And mwah, kills one of you, Chancellor.
And to think of all the time I wasted on those well-born little flibberty gibbets.
What are you complaining about? I had Dobie.
Dope, I'm gonna get me one of them goof-off specials. 1 scoop of vanilla, 1 scoop of strawberry sherbet, 1 scoop of diced leg of lamb. Why don't you get you one?
Oh, just a minute. I see Zelda over there. Maybe we ought to go over and cheer her up.
His brother came with the pineapple.
Oh, I don't know, Dope. Looks like if she gets any more happy, we'll have to wrap her up in wet sheets.
She's just putting on a brave front. Poor, miserable kid. Hi, Zelda. Mind if we join you? Kind of perk up your spirits a little bit?
No offense, Dobie do, but we'd rather you didn't. Zelda and I are having an absolutely smashing time.
Yes, we're discussing the theories of Einstein.
Oh, sounds like screams.
Don't laugh. All my life I've been looking for somebody I could talk to about Einstein.
Yes, and all my life I've been looking for somebody who could understand Einstein.
What's to understand? E equals MC squared.
Oh, of course, but how about the space-time continuum?
You sure you don't want me to cheer you
It
up?
hadn't been for Aristotle.
Yes.
Yeah, I could
the
do
Debbie
some tricks
Aristotle
maybe,
is not
make
likely
you
to
feel
be
better.
dismissed.
You put it so well. Have you read Nietzsche's Mann und Übermensch?
Of course, who has not? But the real fun, my little gazelle, is to read Nietzsche along with Hegel and Swedenborg.
Would you like me to do my imitation of a chicken?
Come on, let's go down to the library and do it right now.
Of course, my impetuous one.
Zelda, Chancellor.
Dope?
Huh?
I'd like to hear your imitation of a chicken.
Never mind.
It didn't sound too much like a chicken.
Nah.
That did. A sick one.
Of course I wanted Zelda to be happy. But did she have to be that happy?
Oh, marvelous. You're going to sing.
Yes, and beautifully, so be quiet. Oh, Lord Jeffrey Amherst was a soldier of the king, and he came from across the sea. To the Frenchmen and the Indians, he didn't do a thing in the wilds of this wild country. In the wilds of this wild country. And for his royal majesty, he fought with all his might, for he was a soldier.
Hey, Dope, where you been?
Around.
Gee, I hardly ever see you anymore, good buddy. I thought once you got that rotten Zelda back, we could hack around all the time, but I ain't seen you in days.
I've been busy.
Yeah, too bad, cause you wanna know where I just was?
No, Maynard.
I was downtown watching them knock down the old Endicott building. See, they got this big crane, see? And on the end is this iron ball. And this guy whams it into the building. Are you through? I got one more. That's it? That's it?
I'm delighted.
You don't look delighted, you look miserable. In fact, you've been looking miserable ever since you got rid of Zelda so you could be happy.
Maynard, that's true.
You ain't in love with that small girl, are you?
It's not a question of love. It's just a question of losing something that you were used to.
Yeah, it's too bad you figured out such a smart way to get rid of her.
What do you mean?
I mean, you used up all your smartness, and now you'll never figure out a way to get her back. Never.
What's the use kidding? You're right. I couldn't think of a thing, not one single thing, to get Zelda back. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I want her back? Well, I do. If you're surprised, how do you think I felt? But if our professor was right about heredity, I was a gone goose. And our professor was always right. So I'd never get Zelda back. But was he right? Couldn't there be some chance, some tiny little chance, that this one time he was wrong?
Not a chance.
Not an itsy
Not a
bitsy
smidgen of an iota of a chance. Mr. Gillis, in all the years I've done this experiment, the smart mouse always runs the maze faster.
Always?
Always.
The dumb one never wins?
Never.
It don't seem fair.
But how do you know that's on account of heredity? Couldn't there be some other reason?
Mr. Gillis, I'm not trying to tell you that heredity is the only factor of counts. Of course there are others, and they're very important, too. But you can't discount heredity. It's a fact that bright parents produce bright offspring.
You're sure?
Why all this sudden interest in white mice, Mr. Gillis?
Oh, just scientific curiosity.
Yeah, and besides, he snowed Zelda into getting off his back on account of this heredity jazz. And now that he's got her off his back, he wants her back on his back.
But to get her back, you have to prove that heredity doesn't work. For instance, if in class today I let the mice run the maze again, and this time the dumb mouse beat the smart mouse, that would sort of knock my statements about heredity into a cocked hat.
Not only that, it would prove they weren't true.
Would you? Would you let the mice run again today, please, sir? Maybe it'd come out different this time.
It wouldn't.
How come?
Because they were just fed a few hours ago, and no mouse, no matter how bright, will run the maze unless it's hungry. I mean, look how complicated it is just for it to get to the cheese. They just won't take the trouble unless their bellies are good and empty. There's no incentive.
Oh, me too. I mean, when my belly's all full up, I won't even get up to turn off the television. Last night I watched TV till 2 a.m. and the set wasn't even on.
How soon can the mice run the maze again?
Tomorrow, provided they're not fed before then.
Professor, would you?
Oh. All right, Mr. Gillis, I'll let them run tomorrow if it's that important to you.
No, it's not that important. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, what have I got at stake? Except my life.
Hey, Dobe, you want to go downtown and watch that guy flip flapjacks in the window? Hey, you want to go to the stockyards and watch him dip sheep? Well, you want to see my appendix scar?
Oh. Hi, Zelda.
Hi, small girl.
Hello, chaps.
Going anywhere in particular?
Oh, no. I just put on my satin back crepe, my rhinestone earrings, and my glass slippers just to knock around in.
Oh, date with Chatsworth, huh?
Good thinking.
Good evening, Zelda, my little antelope.
Hi, Chatsy. You look divine.
Oh, yes, I do, rather, don't I? Come, my pretty, let the revels begin.
What enchanting divertisements have you planned for us tonight, my clever...
Oh, nothing special. The opera, the theater, the movies, a 12-course gourmet dinner, a little miniature golf, bowling, the batting cage, and then a trip to the observatory. Halley's Comet is particularly brilliant tonight.
Let us away.
Yes, let's. Hasta la vista, amigos.
Dude. Like Dude. I'll never get her back.
Well, you always got me, good buddy.
Doomed.
Like Dude.
And after tomorrow, I'll be totally and completely doomed.
What's tomorrow?
Don't you remember, tomorrow's when the professor does the experiment with the mice again. And of course, it's going to end up the same way again. If I ever had a chance of getting Zelda back, it'll be gone for sure tomorrow.
Like doomed.
I feel rotten.
Yeah, let's get something to eat.
Let's get something to eat. 5 innocent words. Let's get something to eat. But when Maynard said them, a bell started clanging in my head, and they suddenly ranked right alongside Remember the Maine and Tippecanoe and Tyler too as words that will go down in history. Let's get something to eat reminded me of what the professor had said. If a mouse isn't hungry, it won't run the maze. So if I snuck into the classroom and fed the bright mouse plenty of food, it'd just sit there and let the dumb one leave it at the post. Then what would Zelda think of those fancy theories of heredity? Clever, huh? Yep, like I told Maynard, the answer to my problem with Zelda is food.
Oh, good thinking.
Yeah.
We feed her till she can't move, then we grab her, put her in a wheelbarrow, head to the tall tree, and we hide her in a cave, see?
Listen, remember what the professor said today?
Yeah, then every 1 or 2 or 3 days we go out there with a bunch of stuff like donuts and spaghetti, and we feed her again, keep her sluggish. Man, she'll never get away.
Maynard. Good thinking. Yeah. Now, will you listen? Well, Maynard didn't quite get it, but he seldom does. But I had the whole thing figured out. A, I would sneak into the classroom tonight and feed cheese to that bright mouse until it was stuffed. And that meant B, when the professor puts it in the maze tomorrow, it won't be able to move. So C, the dumb mouse will run the legs off it, which means that D, the professor's talk about heredity gets knocked into a cocked hat. E, Zelda realizes that those theories don't mean a darn thing. And F through Z, I get Zelda back. You know something? It's a good thing the Russians don't have my brain. BF 436, bright female. That's the one, Maynard.
Hi, little squeaky buddy. Look, we brought you something good to eat. Cheese.
Yes, sir, little mouse. Here you are. Eat hearty.
Yeah, go on, eat. It's yummy.
Sure it is. You'll love it. All mice love cheese. All mice love cheese.
Hey, Doe, maybe he doesn't know he's a mouse.
It's delicious. Here, I'll eat some myself. He's not even watching, Maynard. Please, Mouse, just try a little. You'll love it.
Yeah, and it's good for you. Chock full of vitamins and like that.
Please?
Look, don't be a rat, you mouse.
What was that?
Somebody's coming.
Coming this way.
That's all right. They're in the room. Good thinking.
Hey! It's me!
Dope, I'm scared. Shh.
Don't talk. Don't whisper. Don't even breathe. Maynard, I told you not to breathe. I'm not breathing. You don't. There's somebody else in the closet with us. Ridiculous. Maynard, that couldn't possibly. You feel something good, buddy? Yeah, a little chin, little nose, two little eyes. Yeah, like Zelda? Like Zelda.
Come out. Come out, please. Well, my young breakers and enterers, what are you doing here? Miss Gilroy?
What's Dobie doing here?
What's Zelda doing here?
What are you doing here? No offense.
No offense. Obviously, we all had the same idea. But who got here first?
Me.
To feed the mouse.
Then I heard somebody coming.
Me.
And me.
To feed the mouse.
But the mouse wouldn't eat.
But of course not. Miss Gilroy had already fed her.
Then we heard somebody coming.
Me. To feed the mouse. Which, of course, wouldn't eat.
Professor, why'd you do this?
Some people think of me as hard and cold and mean.
Yeah, me.
Yes, Mr. Krebs. But I guess underneath it all, I'm just a sentimental slob. Obviously, I'm not much of a scientist lousing up an experiment this way. But I figure we can stretch science a little bit if it means keeping you two together, because that's where you belong, together.
Oh, we do.
Small girl, I don't dig. I mean, what do you want with Dobie? I thought you and Chatsy were having such a blast.
Maynard, you know absolutely nothing about love.
True, small girl.
Sure, I was having fun with Chatsworth. At first, anyhow, but every time I looked at you and saw those pathetic, helpless eyes looking at me like a sick spaniel, I knew I could never be happy with anyone else. I mean, if you're silly enough to get stuck for a tin-thumb idiot like you, Poopsie, no offense.
No offense, Zelda.
Then there's no chance of ever getting unstuck.
Thank you, Zelda. That's just the way I feel about you. You're a mess, but you're my mess.
Thank you.
Yeah, but what about the kids ending up with Dobie's tiny brain?
Oh, heredity isn't all that foolproof. The kids could turn out to be geniuses. Who knows?
And what if they aren't? I'll be there to protect them. If I can take care of one dimwit, I guess I can handle a few more.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty misty.
Me too.
Me too. Anybody got any cheese left?
Mumsy, will you listen? I certainly will not. I told you very distinctly to get rid of this desiccated creature and start going around with this beady-eyed little girl.
Mumsy, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Zelda won't have me.
Oh, smarter than I thought.
Nothing personal, Mrs. Osborne. It's just that Dobie needs me.
Well, he certainly needs something.
In view of the circumstances, Mrs. Osborne, Zelda and I feel that she should return the gifts that Chatsworth gave her.
Yes, so I brought them back. Okay, Maynard.